What's up, people? What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the O.O.C. We got some good topics on the show tonight. Last night I was supposed to do my birthday stream, but something came up where I couldn't actually do it. But we will be doing that on Thursday, so make sure to check it out. There's some fun things that we're going to do over there, so make sure to check it out. But with that being said, let's get on with the show and hope y'all enjoy it tonight. Peace. Yo, what the fuck is up? Damn, I cursed in the first 8 seconds of the stream. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Hold up, let me send a shout out to my partner. Happy belated B-Day, dog. I saw that shit on Facebook on Sunday and I said, yeah, I'm gonna be ready for it. I gotta stop lying to myself, yo. Happy birthday, dog.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We had a great weekend this weekend. It was for, a sad reason, but the end result was family came together, good times, memories, and more to come.
Absolutely. And we're definitely going to talk about that because we have that as a topic tonight. So that's going to be very interesting. How you been doing, JG?
Oh, man, chilling. Just trying to live every day like it's my last, doing what I can.
I feel you 100%. You, Roberto, you good?
Yeah, man. Little shit, but vacay soon reach, so all is forgotten.
How long you have vacation for?
2 months.
Oh, wait, what?
It's like, oh yeah, yeah. I'm on contract, so.
Oh, okay.
It starts back up end of August.
Lucky bastard, you. So you just chilling for the next 2 months.
Yeah. I won't lie. Some downtime is good, considering every day is an adventure in my tasks.
Absolutely. Might get a little boring, but you know what I mean? It is what it is.
Oh, no, it won't. I'm practicing for retirement. That's what I'm doing.
I feel you. Yo, I had this, I don't really have nothing to go up against it, but I had this mashup that I found today, and I just got to play it. I want you guys to hear this shit, and tell me if you don't think this is fire. Tell me if you don't think this is fire. Chat, you got to let me know, too. Put some fires in there if you think it's fire, too, but check this out.
The wind blows, I hear your voice, so I call your name. Whispers in the morning, our love is dawning. Everything that became. You know how I feel. This thing can't go wrong. I can't live my life without you.
was sick.
Fire,
I
eh?
like that beat.
I wasn't feeling it, man. I wasn't feeling it.
Yo, that was fire, bro. That guy
I
did
don't
a
know,
wicked
man.
mashup.
I nope, can't do it.
JG
What
don't
up?
like it.
What up, K Dot? Thank you. You weren't feeling it? You didn't like
I
it?
wasn't feeling it, man. I just wasn't.
Really? Okay.
That's a
Goodbye, JG. Like, what are we talking about here?
maybe a
Wow.
different song would have been better, but that's a ballad, man. It just needs to don't even touch it. Just leave it alone.
Oh, so that's your problem. The fact that they took the Michael Jackson song and did that, right?
What is that Michael Jackson song?
Hey, haters. This guy. This is fucking.
I'm from the South, man. We got different
This
tastes out here, man.
this
So,
motherfucker
I'm
needs to be
sorry.
out for the show. No.
I'm sorry.
I don't like that. Roberto, you feeling it?
At the beginning, not so much, but as it went, yes, I felt it. You know, that's a boom
All right.
beat. Those are boom lyrics. If you could blend them together, I can't see how it could miss. You know.
I get you 100%. All right. Well, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fire. I wanted to play that. Tony said "Dirty Self." Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
right.
about.
My
We
fellow Memphis
have
brother,
Blow the
right there.
whistle.
blow the whistle. Change is coming. And free majors, which is one of the topics we're going to get into. The first topic we're going to get into again, and I am going to say this because I put it in the thumbnail and the description, whatever. But I actually put the question mark. But I'm actually going to say it. This motherfucker is innocent. 100% he is innocent. And I said it on the last time we talked about it. I can't believe they're still going to trial with this bullshit, but he is innocent 100%. And I'm going to show you guys why. We're going to go over this article and we're going to discuss why I think he's innocent. Thank you, Tony. Much appreciated. 100%. Now, if I get rid of this stupid pop-up here.
So he beat it?
He didn't really beat it, but he did score something major, right? And unfortunately,
Isn't that his name?
Huh?
Jonathan Major?
Yeah. Jonathan Major scores huge win in domestic violent case. So basically, what happened is actor Jonathan Majors has scored a win in allegations that he assaulted his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabari. The Creed 3 star was arrested on March 25th by the New York Police Department after officers were called to the apartment in Manhattan, Chelsea neighborhood. Jabari called police, alleging she had been assaulted by Majors, who faced court that same evening, charged with 2 counts of assault in the 3rd degree, aggravated harassment, and attempted assault against a woman. So first off, I don't like the way this is worded because Jabari did not call the police. It was Jonathan Majors who called the police. It wasn't her. So you see, this problem with some of these articles is, they try to, I don't know, I guess, put information out there, but they don't
Got to put
always
more
get
fuel
it.
to it. See if
You know
the
what I
flame
mean?
gets higher.
Right, you got to put the information correctly, though, right? You can't just word it certain ways and be like, "Oh yeah, she called the police." That's not what happened. We know from many articles that it was Jonathan Majors that actually called the police in the morning when he got there because she was passed out and talking about suicide, right? So, anyways, representatives for Majors have long maintained his innocence, but his lawyer, Priva Chaudhry, told the New York Week that the axe was probably the victim here, with police at 2 NYPD precincts finding probable cause to arrest Jabari. So basically, what happened is they went to the police department with the information that they had, and they showed it to the NYPD. And the NYPD felt there was enough evidence to arrest her for assaulting Jonathan Majors. When we talked about all the evidence that they had the last time we talked on the show, it kind of showed that, Jonathan Majors didn't do anything. At least that's the evidence that Jonathan Majors can't put out. And I watched the article and they said there may be some other stuff that probably didn't get out from the defense the prosecution. But I'm at the end of the day, I'm like, what they showed or what they brought out and what the insider said they seen, it seems to me like he's definitely innocent. Tony said, JG, any barbecue bologna for the 4th? You guys are
Damn
disgusting.
right. Damn right.
Is that the
Thick
ritual?
Thick sliced barbecue bologna, extra sauce, and
Really?
coleslaw. Let's go.
I think I'll pass. So, Chaudhry said that Majors met with the NYPD last week to present them with evidence of what really happened that night. Within hours of viewing the evidence and conducting their own thorough investigation, the NYPD found probable cause to arrest Grace Jabari for assaulting Majors, Quadri added. Considering this development, we extend our gratitude to the NYPD detectives for their efforts, Quadri said. Majors also appeared in court on May 8th and the 20th, and according to Business Insider reports, President himself to the Chinatown precinct on June 21st to give a statement to police about what he claimed had occurred on the night of the alleged assault. The actor said a drunk and hysterical Jabari attacked him on a street corner in Chinatown on March 25th. He alleged Jabari, a dancer, snatched and slapped his face, causing pain. Both the Chinatown precinct and the Manhattan precinct that first attended the incident at the Chelsea apartment followed Jabari's 911 call on March 25th, found probable cause to investigate Jabari, Major's lawyer said. According to the report, Manhattan prosecutors were reluctant to prosecute Jabari and an incident card calling for her to present to the Chinatown precinct for questioning was canceled. The district attorney's office and police have not confirmed the account given by Major's lawyer. So, I mean, shit, Terrence, you want to come in? Yeah, sure, no problem. I'm gonna send you the invite, Terrence. Just give me 1 second. While I do this, go ahead. Your thoughts, guys.
I haven't really been following this story too much, to be honest, because I know a witch hunt when I see one.
Facts.
But obviously, this man did his homework and protected himself because he has evidence that could obviously make them look the other way. Had he not had that evidence, and probably still to this day, his career would be ruined.
100%.
Facts.
What about you, JG? What are you thinking?
Man, if he's guilty of anything, it's smashed the wrong chick. That's about it. But other than that,
100.
I mean,
110, bro.
I mean, this is the open and shut case, man. It's and you're right, your brother. Had he not had any evidence, this trial would have been over with already.
Mm-hmm.
No questions asked have been done.
Yeah.
And I hate to throw race into it, even though it is prevalent.
Had
she been a black woman, would we even get this much press?
He'd have to murder her.
Remember the Ray Rice incident in the elevator? It didn't get that much press. I mean, it was news, but it didn't.
He'd have to murder her. He'd have to be obviously a celebrity, a sports celebrity, like what happened to that running back.
Yeah, and then you look at the other people, producers, just like, oh, we had issues with him once. Now it's ridiculous. Like I said, it's a witch hunt. For whatever reason, I don't know.
And that's one of the biggest problems I have, because even there was an article I was reading just earlier about Megan Goods, and they're like, oh, her friends respecting her opinion to date Jonathan Majors. Well, yeah, I mean, they have no fucking say in who she dates, right? But in that article, they say, oh, there's other witnesses coming out. But so far, we haven't heard or seen any fucking buddy else, as a victim supposedly come out. It's only this Jabari chick. Now, maybe when the court case comes up, they'll probably be like, oh, well, we have this person, and this, and maybe they don't want to divulge that information right away. But at the end of the day, right now, it's just her. And I wish they would stop fucking wording it like there's so many fucking victims out there that Jonathan Majors assaulted. It's fucking ridiculous, man. What up, Jason Lee? Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Always pleasure.
What up, Jay Lee?
And I'm sick and tired of it, man. I'm like, listen, man, it seems like they just want to ruin this man's career. This man was...
He grew too fast, Nzo.
Yes, 100%.
Probably didn't go too far in playing the female role, and they said, oh, yeah? He said, you know what? That photo shoot's the last shit I'm doing, yo. They said, oh, yeah? Bam!
Facts, 100%. I don't know if you're still in the chat terms, but I sent you the link, so yeah, pop in anytime. 100%, Roberta. I said that many times. Like, it seems like there's so many different situations where, it could have been like just a witch hunt to get this guy because he was growing too quick. You know what I mean? And we got to make
He
sure
grew
we
really
cut
fast for a
we
brother. He grew
facts.
really fast. Only guy
Facts.
seen grown that fast is that brother, the British one there.
Idris Elba?
Is that him?
Oh, the guy from Snowfall.
Fuck, I can't even remember the movie he did. But he plays an American so well. But every time you interview him, he has that British accent.
Yeah, it's probably Idris Elba.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's
But
probably.
yeah, man. You
Idris
look
Elba.
at Jonathan Major. Like the first thing I saw him in was pretty much a hit. I think it was White Boy Rick. That was the
Okay.
first thing I saw him in, and he's been doing banger after banger. He's
Mhm.
a black man on the rise that can't be
No,
controlled.
not Idris. No.
Not him.
He's
Okay.
younger.
Oh,
Yeah, I
really?
think it's the guy from Snowfall. I think that's what you're talking about.
All I know is, man, I haven't seen one Jonathan Major movie that I didn't like yet. Now, could possibly
Facts.
because I'm a fan of his, maybe, and I'm biased. It could be, but if I watched the movie, even though I like him, I'd still be able to say, nah, this movie was kind of garbage. You know what I mean? I'd still be like, nah, I like Jonathan Majors in it, but this movie was garbage. And for me, I think what really made me like become a big fan of him was The Harder They Fall. That movie
Mm.
was absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? And like I've watched it so many times, and his performance is great. And then just today, as I'm watching some of these clips, they're showing, watching a video, and they're showing his stuff from Loki, and I'm just thinking about it, and I'm like, he was so different as he who remains, as Kang, as you know what I mean, as the younger Kang, or what's we're gonna see in Loki. It's just so different. His range as an
Mm-hmm.
actor is fucking amazing. There's a lot of actors that have good range, but I find there's a lot of actors too that have no range. Like Keanu Reeves. Keanu Reeves
Mm.
has no range. He's a great actor, but he is the same in every single movie you see Keanu Reeves in, right? So it's weird, man. Tony said all the victims are probably scorned friends Jonathan cut off. Uh, you know what? Until uh,
That's
until
possible.
until I hear some names, or until the court case comes out and they like give evidence of other ones, I don't think there's any more victims. I really don't. I think it's
Yo,
all bullshit.
Anzo, you seen the Snowfall thing?
I've never watched Snowfall.
Snowfall is
I'm like,
good.
how the fuck I didn't see this
Snowfall is good.
on Disney?
He would be very hard to replace as
Oh, on
Kang.
Disney.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one on Disney. I think it's the you talking about Snowdrop on Disney?
No,
No,
it's
no,
called
Snow.
Snowfall.
We have it.
Snowfall's on
2017.
Disney?
Yeah, because we have it. We have Stars, so it's a
Oh,
part of the
Star.
Stars
Okay,
with
okay.
our
I was about to
Disney.
say.
Yeah. So we got a lot of those kind of shows on there. But you know me, bro. Those are black gangster type things, man. And I'm tired of seeing us in that kind of light. I want to see more positive stuff with us, so I don't really watch it. My son says it's great. Says Power is great. You know what I mean? Danny likes Power and all
A
that
good
shit.
series is a good series, you know. You just gotta take it as fictional.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know, but it's like that's all we ever do. You know what I mean? It's like all they ever cast us for is like, hey, let's get this gangster shit going. Let's get this gangster, and that's that. And that, where's
But
the positive black families?
sometimes it's coming from the root. And when it's like that, I want to see it. Because I don't want everybody else's. I don't live in South Central. I was never a
Mhm.
Blood or a Crip. So all I'm getting is everybody else's version,
Hmm.
or a famous rap group's version. I want to get the real people's version. So, like, if this show is something like a guy straight out of there who wrote it, I want to see it because it's facts. It's real shit. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, but
That's
don't
the only
you?
reason. But I get what you're saying. How we're always depicted as gangsters and pimps and drug dealers.
Damus and Idris is who Roberta was thinking of.
Hold
Yeah, that's
on.
what I
Just
figured.
be
That was
there in a
Snowfall. Yeah,
second,
I
brother. Okay.
understand.
You see, for me, it's just I want to see positive. You know what I mean? I want to see strong black families. I want to see, good stuff. You can have a little bit of drama or whatever, but I find like when you have, you don't have either it's a black mother with no father in the picture, you know what I mean? Or it's a biracial, you know what I mean? Which isn't
Mhm.
bad, but I still just, you want to see positive black family. It's like
No, it's not him.
they don't represent that, you know what I mean? You get all kinds of other representations in media, but when it comes to a strong black family, they don't represent that, and it just bothers me. Let's get that and stop showing us as murderers and gangsters and drug dealers. Yeah, it's a part of our lives, but it's a part that they've always shown us doing. Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, you know what I mean? Snowfall, Power, even kind of Empire, is more like kind of like that as well. And when Empire, even though they had a good black family, there was so much tension and jealousy between the family members that it was just like, nah, this isn't, Empire should have been this family who was together and was taking on everybody else. But Lucius was trying to fuck over Cookie. Cookie was trying to fuck over Lucius. The kids were trying to fuck over the parents. You know what I mean? And it was just one big, like, come on, bro. Like, really? Why couldn't they have been a united front against everybody else? All the music industry, all of this and that. That would have been, for me, a lot more better. But one thing I will say about Empire is some of the original music in that show was really good. I'll give it that. Tony said, I agree with Anzo. That's why I don't watch all these black drug shows on TV right now. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Look, we see how easy it is to do back and now as far as what it takes to make a movie, the editing or the CGI a person can learn to do themselves. There must be movies like that being made. If you're talking about the AI stuff, there will be. There will be. Anzo wants the black family like in the Upshaws. Hey, you know what? And the Upshaws is a comedy, right? And I like it too. You do have a nice black family in there. The father, Omar, Mike Epps, kind of a little idiot in the show, but I get it. That's the comedy part about it, right? But at least, he's there for his family. So yeah, I get it. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. I actually want a little bit more serious though, Tony. You know what I mean? Instead of having the father or someone in there being a goof, but having them more like, let's say, Bel Air. I think that's one of the reasons why I like the Bel Air, because it's a strong black family in that show.
Can you see this
Oh,
guy?
Oh, that
oh,
guy.
John
Okay.
Boyega. John
Yeah,
Boyega.
boy.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
What up, Terrence? How you doing?
Hello, brother.
I'm
Salute,
doing
homie.
good,
Hello,
man.
everyone.
What's up, T?
Yep. How you guys doing? Yep.
Doing good, doing good. So you hear the topic. I'm sure you read the article which I sent you. What are your thoughts? I
Oh,
said,
no. Oh,
I'll just say this real quick. I'm just gonna get a drink, but I'll say this real quick. I said at the beginning, because of this stuff, I think he's 100% innocent. But go ahead, Terrence, talk.
actually, what exactly are we covering right now? Because I just like popped in and like I know
Oh,
Jonathan Majors is a topic, but
yeah,
is that what?
the article that I sent you where he got his girlfriend charged.
Okay. So you want me to speak on that?
Yeah, speak on it. I'll be right back.
Okay. For me, I've been on Jonathan Majors' side from the beginning. So with this kind of stuff coming out from the articles, it points more and more to his innocence. And whatever's supposed to happen in the coming months, I feel is a complete waste of time. They should just really just do away with all that and have that particular female in prison for the next 30 years and then everybody could just move on with their lives.
I
I
wonder if
have
she's
to
going to
agree.
get any prison time. Honestly, I think what's going to happen is the threat of prison time is going to make her sing like a bird. She's going to
Her?
tell on. Yeah, I think she's going to tell on every single person, the police, the racist police officers, the whole system. She's going to snitch to keep herself out of trouble.
Well, they got to apply some serious pressure on her for her to turn on all them people.
Yeah. I mean, look at her. She's so little. She was last, hell, 30 minutes in prison. I mean, she's not so bad.
Yeah, they would definitely show her what abused is if she ends up in such an environment.
Mm-hmm.
Fake criminal.
They should
That's
be
some
listening
fake shit.
to all people, especially men, Watch who you choose to smash, man. Because these people are crazy.
But you see, here's the problem, though. When these like kind of false allegations come out and it comes out to be like false, nothing happens to the person that made them. Nothing happens to Amber Heard. Nothing's going to happen to her, right? And that's the thing that I think is really kind of one-sided, right? Because you just got to accuse a man of doing something and he's losing roles. They want to oust him from Hollywood. Then it comes out to find out, oh, wait a minute, maybe it wasn't true. Oh, okay, he may get some roles back. He may not be seen as the same person that he was before it, but the person that made the false shit, nothing.
And Nzo,
Amber Heard had to pay a fine. That's about it. She had to pay him a shitload of money, but that's it. You know what I mean? Go ahead, T. What are you going to say?
No, I was just going to say that also a huge thing is the court of public opinion. Humans are going to have their thoughts regardless, and that is also a problem. And I think that there should be a punishment for those that, come up with these false accusations. I'm talking prison time. Throw them under the prison as far as I'm concerned, because if you can just say a special word of some kind, or put some makeup on your face and say that Johnny and Bobby did this, and then they just carry him away in the handcuffs and stuff, that's a problem, especially when it didn't happen. And also for those that are real victims, it makes things worse for them too.
Absolutely, 100%, right? Because it gets to the point where, oh, do we trust, what this person is saying? Because there were so many people lying and stuff like that. It's just, you take advantage of a situation, which is the Me Too, right? Which I believe was done for a good cause. But what ends up happening, like every good cause, you get the corrupt in there, right? You get the people who want their own agenda and feel like they can use this cause for their own agenda. And that's a huge problem. The problem is that she never pressed charges against Jonathan Majors. The police and prosecutors wanted to charge a black man. 100%. Because we even said it early on the last stream. The cops went into his house and were like, oh, this is a nice house. Like, how can he afford this? You know what I mean? They didn't know who the hell he was. So you see I know, Roberto, you driving down in your fancy car, you got stopped many times, right? Not because you did something wrong, but because they don't like to see us with good shit.
Oh, a car like that was reported stolen.
They don't think we acquired it fairly, right? Just like it's got to belong to someone else. It's got to be stolen. It's got to be.
They automatically put you in a class T because the beat cops would know that they don't see this car 9 to 5 because it's parked at work. You're only seeing this car after 6 and before 11. But you're automatically, because it's a black guy in there, you put him in there. Right. And that's probably cops being transferred to a new district. They're all the same. He's probably doing it a little more because he's driving a nicer car. They don't think we have the means to live a good life like them by earning it.
Facts. Yeah. And it's all jealousy, right? They mad because you driving a better car than they are. Right. And it's like, oh, well, how can this black man can afford that kind of a car?
Right. It has to be a drug dealer.
Facts.
Or
play his running shoes.
Or play sports of some kind. I mean, I went to a gas station. I drove in my car. The lady was like, oh, do you play sports? I was playing along with it. Like, yeah.
Don't like, you?
Do I have to be an entertainer? Do I have to sell drugs? Do I have to be something other than a regular average Joe working, saving his money, so I can have all these good things?
Well, according to them, yes. You know what I mean? According to them, and it's funny, right? Because they would treat him the way they treated him. But I promise you, if they had realized or knew who he was the first time they got there, they would have had a different attitude towards him.
I
You know
don't
what I
know.
mean?
I
I
don't
My,
think
know.
so.
I think they just always, if it's someone rich and they're not necessarily, I think, more times than not, maybe not Danny and maybe not a lot of cops, but a lot of cops become cops because they got a chip on their shoulder. They dislike a race, they dislike um, women or men, and they're biased right off the bat. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And I see situations like this where they'll see a black man. Oh, he thinks he's special because he's in Hollywood. He's rich. I'll show him he's just like the rest. I'll put him in place. That's
see,
how that's how I see their mentality, more
Hmm.
so than, oh, he's famous. Maybe he isn't guilty. Maybe something else happened. I don't think
this
they
is
ever really think that.
So,
this is why I don't believe in human systems. It's like I can, possibly believe in an individual depending on
mhm.
what kind of person it is, but systems are very corrupt in the sense that you can have a collective of individuals and many of them have a problem, but really the individuals within it can be different. You
Absolutely.
can't just assume that because there's a system in place that is meant to help that they're all going to share that mentality. It doesn't work that way.
Oh,
Mhm.
and we already know that the system in place is not meant to help us. But what I want to ask you, Roberto, is you don't think that they do it to protect and to serve? You think they do it because they have a chip on their shoulder?
There are, like I say, it's a percentage. I don't know if it's a large percentage, but think of it this way: the guy who goes to become a cop doesn't get his, fails the shooting range or whatever. He becomes a security guard with a chip.
Yeah.
He
Facts.
thinks he's a cop, but he's not a cop, and
Uh-huh.
he does shit above and beyond. And I think there's cops like that too. Maybe they didn't make the military. Maybe there's circumstance to them taking this position, because when you're a cop, I mean, we call them legal gangsters for a reason. Who's holding them accountable? They protect their own. They have unions to protect them in any situation, right down to murder. So when you have those kind of leeways, it could change you just like money.
Yeah, I agree.
Now,
I agree with you
now,
100%.
now I have a question for all three of you. So, over the course of my time on this planet, I have been stopped by human authority figures more than 15 times. Now, the majority of those times I was on foot, right? This
Hmm.
includes times when I looked normal, quote unquote, like, jeans, tank top, whatever, whatever. So, in these times when I was approached by cops, at least half of the time they had their guns pointed at me. And some of those times, even at my head, and you can hear the gun cocking and all that kind of stuff. And my first thoughts were, I'm going to snap his neck and then I'm going to kick him through the windshield. Like I was immediately calculating how I was going to destroy the ones in front of me before the other ones could intervene and shoot and kill me. Now, of course, I didn't do that. Otherwise, I wouldn't be on this stream. But my question to you guys is, do you think that that was wrong for immediately to start having a combative, calculative
No, it's
brain?
instinct. It's like angel touching you, telling you be cautious, don't get comfortable.
Hmm.
I mean, I honestly, T, I think the same way.
And to be honest with you, I think most of us do, right? Because you get frustrated getting stopped all the damn time, especially when you're just walking down the street minding your own business, and they use the same line. Oh, you fit a description.
Uh-huh.
That's their line for fucking stopping every black man is, oh, you fit a description. What's your name? You know what I mean? Do you have any ID on you? And I think after two or three times, yes, that gets frustrating to the point where you wish you could fucking, you know what I mean, lash out at these guys, but you're gonna lose if you do.
I just want to be treated like a human being, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want you to automatically assume that I committed a crime when you approach me because, you know, I've been approached by police professionally
Yeah, me too.
and nothing came out of it other than have a nice day, officer.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, he came, he asked me for ID. I asked him, did I do anything wrong? He goes, no, it's standard. This police force, it is standard. You know, when you're, depending on who you're with, they can
Mm-hmm.
ask you and do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
And I had nothing to hide. My name is so and so. I'm born so and so. He said thank you and he left. Have a good day,
Mm-hmm.
officer. But
Mm-hmm.
when I pass a cop who's driving almost at the speed limit, and I'm doing the speed limit, and he wants to look at me and say, "Oh, this guy thinks he's tough," and pull me over and hold me there for an hour and a half for no reason when I'm on my way to work.
Mm-hmm.
That's bullshit.
Facts.
It, it's
That
one of
happens
those
a lot.
things because
Mm-hmm.
I've had cops say many things to me, but I'll never forget when a white cop told me if I want to be different, I should join the circus or go to the mountains. And
Wow.
What? What?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
okay, man. One stopped me and was like, "Hey, where do you work?" And I said, "Why?" And he said, "Oh, because if you work at McDonald's, I want to come for free food." I was like, "Motherfucker, do I look like I work at McDonald's?" You know what I
I'd be like,
mean?
I'd be
Fuck
like,
out of
first of
here.
all, we may like Anzo. I'd have been like,
That's
first of all,
crazy
why
shit.
would I give your ass free food? Like,
Facts.
Oh, you know your food
Facts.
ain't gonna taste like other people's McDonald's food.
Facts. Facts. You're gonna
what
have
the
a
hell?
little bigger Ford surprise in that motherfucker.
I
I
know
can
these guys
promise
have
you
codes
that.
up in there. That ship pulls up. They say 318. That's the station car number. They know what 318 is. 50.
Mm-hmm.
Drop them
Mm-hmm.
buns on the floor. Spit on
Mm-hmm.
them burgers. You know.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Right.
Here you go,
I
One of
mean,
officer. No charge.
the
I'm like,
You know?
it's different if you trying to like maybe hook up a friend or something. They come by, but I'm like just someone coming out of nowhere, like, hey, what about that free food? It's like motherfucker, like
You know
no,
what I mean? It's crazy. And it's funny too, right? Because, and I know they used to do this here a lot of times. Like, let's say they would arrest someone, a black man, they would travel around the black areas. You'd have some black people chilling in a park, and they would drive by with the person in the car to let everybody know that they got someone in
Yep.
there, or
or
try to make you think that
or
he's
squeal.
snitching.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? That's the kind of shit that they do. Jason said, "My wife is Spanish, and some of them act like I'm harboring an illegal person, which is bullshit. 100%."
That's fucked up.
Chillmonger said, "So corrupt." Yeah, Chill. I know you didn't get to come on last week, but if you want to come on and talk about this again this week, because I know you got a lot to say too, go ahead. And you also want to check out his videos that he's done on the situation, because I think me and Chill have been like, back and forth on this from the start, and we're like, "Yo, this none of this makes sense. It just doesn't make sense to us." And so far, it seems like we were correct. And like I said earlier, he hasn't been in court yet, but I'm saying 100% this dude is innocent. I believe that, and I will stick with that. I will stick
yep,
with that
yep,
100% that he's
yep.
innocent.
Anzo, yeah, but I
Yeah.
should mention that in that scenario, I was just going to GNC. Now, I guess I didn't look normal. I did have like like how in certain African tribes they have like the kind of face paint, like the war paint and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did have that on that day and stuff. But the point is that I had been going to that store for years, and everyone around there was familiar with me. I was the strange black guy. So it was just like, they got used to me. But the funny thing is that the reason why I got in trouble was because the owner that was at the Albertsons a few stores down, he saw me and he was just like, wow, there's a buff black man. He doesn't have his shirt on and he has face paint and he's going to rob the GNC, right? Even though now bear in
Mm-hmm.
mind he knows me,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
familiar. And he said that I had a bunch of guns and things on me, right? So he basically described me as Rambo coming to, rob the store, even though he had seen me countless times and stuff. So, when I was in there, my friend was working there at the time. And, he told me to go to the back because, there was like a certain protein container that I wanted to buy. He's like, oh yeah, it's in the back. Go ahead and get it. So the cops come in there and they had their guns drawn, and they're just like, where's the guy in here that's trying to rob you? And then my friend was just like, there's no one here trying to rob me, just my friend in the back. I, sent him in the back to get some protein that he's gonna buy. So they completely ignored that. And then when I came out with it, they're just like, freeze and you can't rob this store. And I was like, what the fuck? The dude just told you that's working there that is fine, right? So they called for backup and like a bunch of patrol cars came and of course everybody in the stores, they were looking and stuff. But I was like, how can you just ignore the guy that told you that everything is fine? And then they told him to shut up because they just wanted to put me in the back.
That's what they do.
Yep.
Don't try and make this look like it's legit. We know there's a crime being committed here.
Facts, 100%.
They waste all that manpower and time, all that fucking donuts they could have been eating at the station. They got to get up and run there and do something. They got to fucking have some kind of ending to this.
I mean, I could only imagine from everyone else's perspective, like when they brought me out, and they saw the paint and stuff, they was like, whoa, what the fuck is going on there? Because, you see all these cops and,
they didn't start clapping like they caught a terrorist or something.
It was more of a like a kind of gas, like, oh shit, who the fuck is this guy, right? So, they're thinking probably that, I did something wrong, but, I was just being parents. But the point is that apparently you can't be weird and black. That's a bad combination.
You could be weird whatever else, but not weird and black.
Yeah,
facts, 100%. What's up, Chillmonger? How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. What did he tell us was happening from the start? I have a mountain of evidence. I'm the one who actually was the one who called 911. It's all good. He told you this. Why are we all surprised that now she got arrested?
You know what I'm saying? And thank God she did. But you see, when I was talking earlier about this article, the article says that she called the cops. And I'm like, no, we already know that it wasn't her. And I find that whenever they do these articles, they kind of mess up some kind of information. Even the last one had some wrong information in it too. And now the one I read about Megan Good was like, oh, the other victims that have come out. What fucking other victims? Like, what are we talking about here?
There's nobody who officially came out. Variety said, we have sources close to the district attorney's office that multiple alleged victims were cooperating with the DA. And I looked at that and I'm like, what does cooperating mean? Cooperating just means you talk to you. Me and Roberto right now are cooperating. We haven't even spoken to each other yet to start the day. Hi, Roberto.
What up?
We cooperated on his live stream. We didn't even talk to each other yet. Like, cooperating is so weak. And plus, when you say multiple, we already know the one girl who was the ex-girlfriend. That's just one. Add one more person, and that's multiple women are cooperating with the DA. And look at this. When she gets arrested, and we're weeks off, there's no physical evidence on him anymore because anything that he had has healed, and they still arrested her. Damn, how bad does that look? How damning is the evidence for them? Not on the day of, not on this moment, but weeks later. You know what? We actually do have enough probable cause to go and hey, you have the right to remain silent. That's huge. It's been looking good for him over the last like 2 weeks or so. The last step is for the DA to just drop the charges, which I hope he doesn't. I want this to go to court. I want not guilty to be said. And then I want him to go after the cops right after. I want him to take everyone. They're going to be playing basketball in Pelicans Bay. Is it Pelican Bay? What's the...
Pelican Bay. Yeah, Pelican Bay.
Pelican Bay.
Hey, I'm right there with you.
Pelican Bay.
That's too much righteousness there, Chill. It's just, I don't think it'll happen.
I'm a hope.
Yeah, we all hope.
It's
just like we're all treated equal one day. I don't know when that's going to happen. I think
it's never going to happen.
2 weeks to the world ending, they're all going to realize that we're all one people. We have
that don't even count. I'm like, oh, now you want to be
put together, all 5 of us right now.
For real. Yep. So that's what I'm saying. And I'm like, Chill. I'm like, the evidence looks good for him. And I agree with you. I wouldn't mind it going to trial either and him getting the not guilty. The only problem that I have is that, his career is like in shambles right now. It's going to be like that until he gets that not guilty or until they drop the case. You know what I mean? And I said it last.
I highly doubt the DA is going to drop the charges.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Too bad in his face,
Yeah, me too, 100%. I did read somewhere where they were saying that if it gets to the point where it gets bad for their client, which I already think it is, that they might just be like, you know what, we'll drop the charges now. But we've had all this information come out. We've known this stuff from the beginning, right? And they still haven't dropped the charges. So if they were gonna drop it, they would have dropped it the last trial where we got all the information. And the one thing I liked about the article, because Chill did a video on it too, is that Insider seen the information, and even in the article, they had to admit, like, it doesn't look like this case is what it seems to be. And that's what I really enjoyed about that article. I'm like, okay, now you motherfuckers are seeing everything that we see.
I like that article so much. I saw who wrote it, Laura Italiano, and I followed her on Twitter.
Nice. Absolutely. Because to be honest with you, right, all the other articles before that have pretty much been like you said, bashing Jonathan Majors. Other victims are coming out and this and that, it doesn't look good. And this, and they even talked about the restraining order, which is natural, which is what would happen in a case like this. Yeah. But they made it seem like it's like, oh no, she did that. You know what I mean? She filed this. And it's just like, come on, guys. Like, really? And then we get to the court of public opinion where you had people on Twitter talking about where there's smoke, there's fire, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah.
Talking about recasting.
Everyone threw him to the fire. That's what happened.
Mm-hmm. Talking about
look at Newsweek covering it. Look at Insider covering it. These are not the same outlets who were doing it before. It used to be Deadline, TMZ, Variety. Yeah. Now it's these kind of like newer places. And I think Chaudhry knows, hey, listen, those media outlets are not looking out for us. We're just gonna go find other places that that we can talk to person and give information like that. And it's beautiful. What's happening is that the people who were covering this poorly and talking about recasting and giving negative press all the time, like, oh my God, look, it's gonna be 12 months in jail if he's found guilty. Like, how is that your highlight or your headline when we learned on the same day that she actually changed her story from I was being choked to now that's missing? How is that? The headline that day was she changed her story. Not we just found out it'll be 12 months. We've been knowing it's going to be a big deal because we know how these domestic, or I should say, DV charges go.
100%. And that's the thing too. And that's another thing. Like, the charges have changed, right? Before it was like, oh, he was choking her and all kinds of stuff. Now they got rid of that. You know what I mean? And they keep changing it. And I think that's why his defense team was really scared about putting a lot of information out, because they would just change their story, which they did. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, you know what? But now I think at this point, it's time to put it out. This is the perfect time, and we're going to put it out. And I still think they probably didn't give us all the information. I believe Jonathan Majors' team still has a huge nugget, you know what I mean, that they're ready to drop. I really believe so. Because at this point, like, what else can the defense do? The prosecution. What else can they do? You know what I mean? Other than try to switch it to their narrative. What up, big bro? Thank you for popping in. Much appreciated. So what else does it say? It says Jabari, who met Majors while working on the Marvel film Ant-Man and the Wasp, has yet to speak publicly about the incident, of course, because I think if she did, they would probably depends on where she would go. They would have a puff piece, but if she went to someone who's unbiased, they'd probably rip her story apart. Majors is due to face court again on August 3rd based on Jabari's allegations. The alleged incident received huge reaction online and made headlines as people wondered what impact the allegations would have on the 34-year-old actor's career. Well, we already know, because following the news incident, the U.S. Army pulled 2 adverts featuring Majors off the air, which were set to premiere during March Madness college basketball games. And you also have, Disney Plus putting out Ant-Man and the Wasp, and they're not mentioning Jonathan Majors' name in the description. They're not talking about Kang or anything like that. So I think that, and someone told me that was normal that they did that, but
that wasn't even fully true, because I saw him in a Quantumania ad later on. After that news story, everyone was saying that. I saw him.
Okay. So you see, they haven't, and I think Marvel has done the right thing by holding off, but I also think the writer's strike helped him a lot too, right? Because they can't move on with any stories. They may have Marvel may be like, well, we have an idea what we'll do if this goes bad. But because of the writer's strike, they had no other choice. But you know what? Let's wait and see. You know what I mean? We can't do anything anyways. And now that all this stuff is coming out, we're gonna see Kang back in the Kang dynasties, and that's all I want. That's all I care about is getting this guy back.
Yep, timing is important, Anzo. I keep telling these humans that, like, that is a huge factor in terms of why, we haven't seen a recast. I don't fully believe it's like the whole, oh, we're over here at Marvel. We definitely are on his side. We're just waiting until X, Y, and Z. I'm like, more like, you mean the writers are not there to help you do something stupid.
Well, 100%. I believe if there wasn't for the writer's strike, they probably would have made some announcement or made some changes, because you got to get your movies out, right? And they have a deadline, and they have what up, Rob? How you doing? And they have a deadline, and they have okay, we got to get this movie out by this, but because of the writer's strike, they got to push everything back. So if that's the case, why not just wait? Let's just wait and see what happens, because all phase 5 was basically surrounded by Jonathan Majors. It was centered around him, right?
That's right. That's all they have right now. So to get rid of him is stupid.
It would be dumb. 100%. It would be stupid to do that. So the fact that they're actually waiting because of the writer's strike, I think it's good for him. And I also believe that when the trial comes August 3rd, he will be innocent. But I still have a little, because it's still the court system, you know what I mean? And they still ain't favorable to us. So I still think that, there could be that slim chance where he gets the guilty charge. Slim.
Even with the detectives, though, and the 2 precincts saying that Jonathan Majors is actually has enough to charge her, I think that's I don't know. You know what? Nothing will surprise me, but it does look good for him. I'm convinced, but I'm not everybody yet.
100%.
There's 2 things that are working against him. Number 1, he's black. Number 2, he's going up against a woman in the justice system.
Yeah, and right, even I'll bring it up because I think I have it here. You have people on here who posted something. Well, Anthony Mackie actually posted something, saying, and he didn't really to me. It wasn't even really like a defense of Jonathan Majors. It was just like, oh, the man's innocent until proven guilty, right? And then you have the comments. And if you read some of the comments on that tweet, I'm like, this dude. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're right, Anzo. Like, he didn't really defend him, right? Because it wasn't like, yo, I think he's innocent. Y'all need to back off. It wasn't some definitive, like he said, the least that he could say to try to avoid, I guess, anybody coming after him, which I don't like. But the rest of the MCU, they've been on hush mode. So, there's that.
Share my screen.
Yeah. Just give me a second.
Because I got the tweet over where he says nothing has been proven about this dude. Nothing. So everyone is innocent until proven guilty. So these are the tweets that you're talking about?
Yes.
Captain America would not side with
sex
offenders.
That's it. That's the exact one, Chill.
Oh, wow.
Like, what are you talking about? So I posted, I was like, your mother was a sex offender for having you. Like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, some bullshit, bro. Like people just, I don't know. It's like you don't want to see the evidence that's in front of you. You just want to, it's a black man that did something to a white woman. So, hey, guess what? He's got to be guilty. What's that one say?
It is disheartening that the focus is primarily on this person due to their race. It is truly unfortunate that race seems to be the determining factor, as the reaction would likely have been different had the individual been white. I don't know what that even means. Are they trying to say, like, listen, he's black. That's what matters. He's black. She's white. Mm-hmm. He was guilty until proven innocent. As soon as the cop showed up on that unit, they knew, oh, black man. And they were even saying some stuff, and I can't wait to hear the video. They were talking about, wow, this is an impressive place, and who actually lives here. Mm-hmm. Then they doubted it was his place. Why? Mm-hmm. Because he was a man? Did they doubt men can afford nice places in Manhattan? Or did it have to do with his skin tone? They have enough proof there. I think they should go after the cops. And, it's hard to prove that man had a subjective distaste towards Majors because of his skin tone. But I don't know. This evidence, I got to hear it. I agree, but black men need to stop putting themselves in these positions. You agree with that?
Yes,
Smashed the
100%.
wrong chick, man.
Yes,
Smashed the wrong one.
I said
Yeah.
when you especially when you in Hollywood, you got to be careful about who you date. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? That Me Too stuff is all over the place, and you can definitely get yourself in trouble. Stay away from the snow bunnies if you're making money in Hollywood, guys. I'm just saying.
But what
You
are the
see,
odds that some half-naked drunk would be taking sleeping pills and being at your unit? Like, that's so unpredictable. Did he put
I
himself in
don't
this
know.
case?
Snow bunnies, man. It's pretty predictable.
There it
There,
is.
there's a pattern, and then there are stereotypes for a reason, which is exaggerations of the truth.
Yeah.
100%. And I hear what you're saying, Chill, 100%, because it's hard to avoid these situations. But I think Jonathan Majors is doing the right thing. He's up there with Megan Good. That's right,
Mhm.
bro. Stay with that girl.
Nzo,
She looks like she will be a ride or die for him. You know. Go ahead.
right?
Go ahead, T.
He should have been with Megan anyway. She looked better than that white girl. I'm just saying. But
Oh,
my thing is, I don't know when she started to manifest these fucked up traits, but I'm pretty sure it was there in the beginning. And I picture Jonathan Majors as giving her a bunch of chances before this situation. Like, that wouldn't surprise me if that were the case, because I
mhm.
just don't like fully believe that,
All of a
stuff
sudden she
comes out of
switched
nowhere
like
a
that,
lot of
right?
times.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Well, wasn't he giving her access to his credit cards and all that stuff?
Yeah, she was she went.
Like you giving him
Yeah,
her wifely incentives. It's just not even his wife.
facts,
He
So
facts,
she
was,
100%.
gonna
he,
go book wild when we
right.
can't be together anymore. We're done. Oh
Right.
hell
He
no.
was doing stupid shit. That's why I was just like, I don't know who he has in his circle, but in my circle, there's just like, if we see that our boy is in, some bullshit, we're like, hey, come here, man, let me talk to you. What the fuck is going on? Like, we're not gonna just let that shit happen, regardless of the reaction of our friend. Like, we gotta let you know what's up.
Hmm. And I agree with you 100%, Tony. Megan does look like she knows how to write. I agree with you
Damn
100%.
right.
You know,
Pretty
and
sure.
I said, and Chill, I said this on the last stream because we already know that what started this is that he got a text from a girl. I thought it was Megan Good. Megan Good texted him and was like, "Hey, what's up?" You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And he was like, "Oh shit, all right, man. Good is
I'm,
texting me
I'm,
back."
I'm
Because,
pretty sure it was Megan Good in a bikini. Like, yo, Majors was
bro,
good. Like,
Bro, I am sure because they started dating like a little bit of months after. All of a sudden, he's
Yeah.
seen with Megan Good. It doesn't just happen like that.
Seeds were
That was,
planted.
yeah, that was her texting him. I'm
definitely
sorry,
planted
I'll
some
stick
seeds in
with
her.
that. I'm sorry, that was her that texted him. 100%. I believe that was her that texted him. You know what I mean? And look, he's with the right place. Wow, Central Park five-member Uso wins New York City Council election. Oh, really?
Oh nice.
Hey, that's good because we already know even them. Trump came out and said they still guilty. You know what I mean? Like he
Hmm.
still don't believe they innocent. So,
What's crazy is the Manhattan District Attorney is the same guy going after Trump here.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay. Well, I don't know, man. I'm just like I hope Jonathan Majors gets off. I really do. You know what I mean? I hope he gets exonerated and is back to business as usual because like we said earlier, he was getting big. You know what I mean? I seen him on maybe getting on the levels of well, especially when it came to the amount of movies he was going to do, like Samuel Jackson, where at just one point you were going to see him in everything, right?
Oh, that
Jonathan
that was
Majors hit.
I guarantee you that was the case, because
Mhm,
like, it's undeniable, and it's like I was so happy because when I saw him on Lovecraft Country, I was
mhm.
telling him, I'm like, this man about to be a star real quick. Oh, what you mean, Terrence? I'm like, just watch, and then everybody else noticed it too, and then this happened.
That is where I first seen him, and I fucking loved that show. He was really good. But like I said earlier, when I seen The Harder They Fall, that was
Yeah,
it. I was like, I am a fan of this guy. You know what I mean? And you guys could all sit there. A lot of people will say, "Oh, you guys are biased because you're fans of him." But at the end of the day, we're also looking at the evidence. If it looked bad for him, we'd have said, "Yo, that's bad," right? But from the start, it was like, "Nah, something ain't right here, sir. Something ain't right." and it seems like we were correct.
I shot that goofy sentiment down real quick because I've had humans like, oh, so because you're a fan of his, that's why you think he's innocent. So what would happen if they proved that he was guilty? Then I was like, then that's what it is. I'm like, you're stupid. Shut up.
Right. Like, it's not like, Jonathan Majors is doing anything for me to be like, oh no, he can't be guilty no matter what. No, the motherfucker was guilty.
He ain't my fucking friend. I am a fan, not a friend. So there's
100%. So if he's guilty, that motherfucker is guilty. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
I mean, we all knew R. Kelly was guilty. We still listen to his music. So I mean,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna throw away my Ant-Man and the Wasp Blu-ray just because whatever else. I'm like, yep, that's still my collection. Yeah.
Yep. So let's get the final thoughts on this. We'll move on to the next topic. Chill, you start off with your final thoughts, man.
I hope that this London woman gets deported.
Oh, so yeah, before we go, because it's another thing. What do you think should happen to her if we find out that we know she made all this shit up?
I don't think that there's a charge for lying. I think you're allowed to say stuff like that with no consequence.
I think so too, but I think we need to change that, right? Because that way, at least people will
as soon as consequences involved, then it should change.
Right, because what would happen is people will be more scared to make these fake allegations. If you know what? If I get found out fake, then something's gonna happen to me. Nothing happened to Amber Heard, but she had to pay a fucking fine. You know what I mean?
Right. There should be a law in place because man, if this were like the judge, if this was the Judge Dredd universe, you would get prison time for lying to the authorities. Your ass would be done so quick. I'm like, they need to incorporate some of that shit in reality. I'm telling you now.
I agree, 100%. JG?
I mean, she's lied in court, lied about everything. Whatever charges he would have gotten, jail time, she should get it.
Absolutely.
No. She need worse than that. I want her to be in prison for 30 years. Fuck that.
Okay, she ain't murder anybody though. You know what I mean?
She murdered that man's image. 30 years.
Roberto, what do you think?
You know what? I somewhat agree with T because
oh shit. Okay.
This guy might be innocent and not serve time. But imagine when you go to Hollywood, they tell you at any moment you could date someone and they could ruin your career just by uttering some words that may or may not be true. Would you still go to Hollywood?
Yeah, probably not.
I mean, that's some fucked up shit that you could blurt whatever you want, go, oh, sorry, wrong person. But yet that person went through months and months of scrutiny, fucking court, dragged through the sheds and mud and fucking dirt and people looking at him, passing judgment, even though he isn't guilty.
Right.
And fucked up. So what happened? Oh, sorry. And that's it? It's over?
Facts. And to your point, Roberto, someone might say, you know what? Yeah, I'll take the chance, right? But you never know what will happen. Like, you know what I mean? I always said this, like, if they get me
wait till you're big.
Yeah, they'd get me easy. You know what I mean? You bring a fat ass up in there and try, and like, we're gonna pay you $2,000 to say Hanzo touched you. And chances are I probably would have, you know what I mean? She walks up, hey baby, and I put my arm on and I put my arm on the butt, boom, I'm done. You know what I mean?
No, you gotta establish rules. You be like, you show up to do the job, you don't date nobody, no friends, just fuck off. I'm here for the check and the fans, and that's it. Like, try to avoid as much shit as you can.
Yeah, but
they like to make examples of us, right?
Yeah, but I know I couldn't.
You have to make a big example. So let them climb up and then push them the fuck off.
Facts. They'd put me in a room. There'd be a party. Be like, hey, come to this party. I go to party. There's a fucking mountain of weed on the table. You got me.
You know what I mean? No parties. That should be against the rule. I'd be like, I ain't coming to shit. Like, what about the after? No, negative. If it ain't an interview, I ain't showing up. Fuck that.
And that's why I think Megan Good will be good for him, right? Because he may be like, you young, you in Hollywood, you want to experience all this stuff. She's probably going to be like, you know what? Let's do something with us. You know what I mean? Fuck all that shit over there. It's just gonna get in trouble. You know what I mean? Let's do something else. And I think that will be good for him. Like, you know, I think that's one of the reasons why Denzel Washington doesn't get into any trouble. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because his wife is like, nah,
Right.
bro.
Right, and he's hella smart. He knows how to avoid all the traps. Like traps are scared of Denzel Washington. That's why he's good.
Because let's be real, Hollywood sets traps. Whether you're black, whether you're white, or whatever, they will set a trap for you because they like to own you, right? They want to say that they own you. We made you, we can break you. And I think that's what happens to a lot of actors and actresses out there.
I wish Anzo, some human, would say those words to me. Like,
go ahead, Chip.
I'm thinking of the Denzel Washington scene in Malcolm X after he deals with the white woman, and he's like, "So what now? You're gonna rat on me?" Like he had a line like that.
Yeah.
So if anything, we should thank Spike Lee.
Facts.
Yep.
100.
Yep.
You guys keep talking for a bit. My headset's died. Just give me a second. Go ahead.
Yeah, what he tell her to lick his toes or whatever he said in that movie, I can't remember. But something like that. It's rub my feet. That's what he said. Rub my feet.
Yeah, you know, you just got to be careful. Is what it is. But you know, even when you're careful, if humans are determined to get after you, they'll get very creative when it comes to destructive means. Unfortunately.
What's his comeback gonna be? Does he just get the Dennis Rodman movie all over again? Like nothing happened? They just rehire him?
I think he should come over to DC, be the next Jon Stewart. Let's go.
Oh,
forget the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, like if he returns to where he was, I mean, he had like 7 roles lined up. It was about to be something historic, right? So if he can get back to that, I feel like you're gonna have all these different studios that want him to be part of something, you know, some brief and you know a movie here or whatever, and you know that's what I want for him to go back to where it was before they sniped him down, you know.
He's gonna do a lot more black movies.
I was saying at one point, is he the only black man in Hollywood? Because almost every movie that came out was him. That's how much this guy grew, man. Like, why?
Right. He's the new it guy. That's
well,
how
you know what it is, Roberto? You know what it is? You know what it is, Roberto? Like, so there are other black actors, but they're not on that level. They're like, you know, they hide them on streaming and these movies that nobody pays attention to, no matter how good they are. But Jonathan Majors is above them because everybody likes him, or at least they used to. So.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. He's another one, but it's just that Majors was climbing at a rate that Michael wasn't. You know what I mean? So that's the difference.
And what they say too, like if you watch a lot of these actors and black actors in Hollywood, they say Hollywood usually promotes only one black actor at a time, right?
Yep.
So you know, hold on, my yeah, that should be better. So, you know, since they do that, you know, they'll start off with Michael B. Jordan. Oh, he's not really getting as big as he should. So then they'll move to like Jonathan Majors. Oh, Jonathan Majors now. He's the one. He's the black actor we're going to support now. So everything after that has Jonathan Majors. You know what I mean?
I thought they were going to hire black British actors.
Yeah, but see, I'm kind of tired of.
But that's the thing. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, T.
No, I was saying like that's the thing. Like you have like the fresh faces, and then you have the OGs like Morgan Freeman and Samuel Jackson, and then you have Jonathan Majors.
Where's Kevin Hart on that?
Oh God!
Like Kevin Hart is an OG. Like he's already established and he has a big fan base. Like I would count him as an OG.
Absolutely, 100%. But you see, Kevin Hart, he had his shine, right? He was getting up there. He was in everything. And then he kind of fell off. So now you're finding out he's going, you know, I think he's doing more production now too. But it's also, if you notice, a lot of his movies are going straight to streaming services.
Yeah.
Right? They're not going in theaters anymore.
If you think about what he's done recently, that was big. Like the Jumanji films are really what it is, right? And then after that, it's like, you know, like you said, you know, straight to streaming. You know, he's been doing a lot of producing and you know, little comedy stuff on the side. So, you know, he's set. He's golden. He doesn't have to do anything else, really.
So The Rock I think he was right after Will Smith. He was the it guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a long time, like for 10
Mhm.
years or some shit like that. You know, so yeah.
But you see, here's the problem with The Rock now. And I watched this video on him, and the fact that everybody complains that The Rock plays the same character. From what I seen in this video, it's designed. That was Rock's plan, right?
Yeah.
Rock decided that that's what's gonna, bring him to a certain level of stardom because we want to be that action hero guy. So he doesn't really branch out to roles. It's all everything he does has to be like the same kind of role. And did you even know that Rock, Jason Statham, Vin Diesel, and all the big actors, they have a clause in their contract that they can't lose a fight?
Yeah, no, I definitely know that. I was telling humans about that for a while because look, what it is with their fans, they have expectations. So they're billed as the tough, unbeatable badass. So to have them lose would break that image. They don't want that.
Yep. Which is crazy because I still think he lost that fight in fucking Fast 5. I still think Dominic beat him in that fight. You know what I mean? He was the one lying on his back and Dominic was over him, but
yeah, Dominic, like, because I like that fight, but it's like what Dominic Toretto did was more impressive because, he was a smaller guy. So to me, anytime the smaller guy gets the bigger guy on his back and got him screaming and all this other shit, I'm like, I consider you a victor because you're talking about the only advantage is the size when they seem to be equal in skill when it comes to fighting.
And we all know in real life, Rock would fucking eat fucking Vin Diesel.
Oh yeah, he would run rock bottom and Vin Diesel would die. Like he would die in every timeline. Like seriously.
Facts, 100%. So the next one, Roberto wanted to talk about this a little bit, so we're gonna bring it up. Let me just start the video.
Robbie?
Yeah.
I thought he was last. What happened to family?
I just put it in there. We'll do Robbie and then we'll do the family. Because the family, I think, will be talking about it for a while. So let me bring up this video.
I know
here.
Terrence will like this one.
Yeah, me too. All right. So hold on, I gotta turn on the volume.
Known as the Black Prince, a man whose journey sculpted not only his body, but also the history of the sport. But amidst the glory, Robbie faced a grueling battle against racism that shadowed his career. With his pitch black skin color competing against the white saints of the sport, he wasn't favored to win the Mr. Olympia, or even place top 5. Despite that, his physique was so great that the father of bodybuilding, Joe Weirder, even used his physique as the mold for the Mr. Olympia logo, replacing Robbie's head with his own. Yet Robbie's spirit remained unbreakable. With unwavering determination, he overcame the challenges, showcasing his prowess, grace, and undeniable talent. And even at 70 years of age, the amazing physique of Robbie Robinson continues to inspire. Meet Robbie Robinson.
Look at that man. And the reason why I wanted to talk about him is because I knew who he was, but I didn't know the story behind him. And to know
now we
that
have his son on stream to answer these questions for us.
To know that Weeder stole his body for a fucking trophy that represents the top of that field, that's just something on its own. And that man needs some recognition. He needs to be spoken of. Because, fuck, at 70 years old, you see him? Jeez, I know it could be done. I feel so good now.
and you know what the best part about that too is, Roberto, right? Because when you watch, like I watched it just recently, they talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger like he was the top guy. You know what I mean? Like
he has all the accolades, right?
He does, but I mean, when you look at this, you have a black man who probably looked like he had a better physique than Arnold Schwarzenegger, even in his best days. You know what I mean? But the fact that he was a black man, you can't
He's
have
not the only one either.
Oh, 100%.
That's the sad part. But man, that brother was chiseled.
But I got to show this before we move on real quick, because I posted this picture, right? And hold on, I posted this picture. Hold on, let me just close this shit up first.
How sure are you he's 7 years old now, and that's not an old video?
Oh, it could be
how he looked at 70.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So I posted this picture, right? And Danny was like, yo, I didn't know Roberto was so jacked. He was like, yo, Roberto looking over there like, you know what I mean? Can't fuck with him. And I just started laughing. I was like, yeah, I've known Roberto for a long time. I knew it was
hold on. If you really look close at that picture, you see Nzo's screw face like, get your fucking hand off of me. That's I looked at that picture. I said, but wait, do I owe him some money or something?
Yeah, you got evil villain
so
vibes.
screw face. All of us kind of smiling, right?
Andre's the leader of that group. Yeah, that's what it is.
You're a Gotham City chief.
Yeah, I had to play the role. You know what I mean? I got my gangster shit on. You know what I mean? I can't be smiling in the picture and shit. You know, I look like I'm gonna pull out a Tommy gun and start shooting motherfuckers.
Right, you're part of the 5 families of Gotham. That's what it is. Yep.
You know what's funny about that picture? I know all of these guys when they were that little guy's size in front.
For real.
Oh wow.
For real.
All of them.
Did somebody ask you to take off the shades and put it up, or did you do that on your own Curtis self?
It was all day. It was up there all day.
Okay.
Oh, and that's another thing he said. He was like, yo, and his head is bald too, which is what I said when I see Roberto. I was like, damn, bro, I didn't realize the head was that bald.
I understand I wear a hat all the time, right? But there's never really any shit hanging out of my hat. So I don't understand why people are surprised my shit is bald. Like, what the fuck? You know, like if I was like chill, you'd see the shit coming down. You can't hide it. I used to
look at it. Look at it.
Let me ask you this, because Roberto, do you miss the long hair? Because he had hair like you, chill.
Oh yeah,
my shit was long, yo. Like the middle of my back,
long, curly, kind of
like that Billy D shit with that fucking that shit that burns your scalp.
I said it on the stream before. Roberto, and he was like a bitch, man. These guys would be in the bathroom.
Oh, shut up, you shit.
All the fuck they would be caring about is their goddamn hair. The amount of fucking hair products this motherfucker had in his room. I was like, does some chick live here? You know what I mean?
Hey, they ain't easy looking good sometimes, yo. I know you didn't get dressed in 5 minutes.
Nzo is the king of comedy. Yeah, Tony Robbins said I look like Cedric.
You
probably do look like him.
The Canadian version.
So what are your thoughts on the Robbie situation? Go ahead, Terrence.
Oh shit. Okay. So you know, he's one of the many bodybuilders that deserve more credit. And you know, I heard you mention earlier about Arnold. Like Arnold is known for giving a lot of bodybuilders credit. You know, he worked with a lot of them. He met a lot of them. And you know, this guy is one of them. It's strange to me how you can have someone that looks as good as him, but he's infinitely less known than all the popular ones you can name. And you know, to his credit, if you look at the bodybuilders today, they look fucking horrible. A lot of them, right? Like they got these like bubble guts and shit. Like
it's not about symmetry; it's about size today.
Right. Just like Arnold said, it's no longer about, you know, how nice the muscle looks and the definition. It's about we need to get as big as possible, even if we have this crazy huge gut that looks unnatural. It's all about that now. So to me, he looks better than 99% of the guys today. Easy.
100.
I agree. What do you think, JG?
I mean, this shouldn't be surprising at all. You look at whether it's in bodybuilding, martial arts, a lot of African American people have been so great at their craft and never got the love that was deserved. You look at bodybuilders today, you know, they get these deep tans to replicate because you know the darker your skin is, you got ripped, the more defined it looks. So they get these tans.
They actually put stuff on to try and be that dark. To show more definition. So how you could hold that against somebody is fucking crazy.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger, one problem with him was his legs. When they found
was it his legs or what was it? No. His legs were nice for his height, right? It's just that a lot of times, like when you look at the bodybuilders today, because of the idea of size. They're looking at, okay, it's just only the size that matters. It's like, no, you have to look at the height and the proportions and the definition that's there. That's what's lacking today.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for a tall guy to be perfect. The legs always seem to get a shyness when it comes to height. And the shorter guys, their legs come to the forefront.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
That's
Tom
another
Platz,
thing.
he was short. This guy had legs like I don't think anyone's ever had.
Right. And that's another thing that I've been telling humans for years, that it's harder for, once you are, 6 feet and taller, it's harder to look bigger because your limbs are longer as compared to like the short guy. There's less of that, so it's easier for them to compact it. So these are details that matter, that I feel a lot of individuals that don't have experience directly, or they don't watch a lot of fitness stuff, they don't know these differences. To them, it's just like, whatever, muscle, whatever.
Stick the needle in and zoop, zoop, zoop.
Yeah, it's a lot of that going on.
Because we have the two fitness guys over here, right? We already know fucking Terrence.
But they don't understand. Yo, Anzo,
Roberto's
when they see you, right?
Mhm.
They think you got it overnight. They don't know you've been working out for 30, 35, 40 years on and off. You got to start everything in the basement if you want strong foundation. You can't. These guys want it today.
Yeah. Well, that's why
they start in January and they want to be huge by August.
Yeah. That's why
it's
they
not
take
possible.
Enhancements to be fast. You get bigger faster.
But it's not even possible.
But see that, okay, the thing too is that humans are lazy, and they also don't know what to do. And even like the height of the pandemic, it exposed a lot of humans that just started panicking because they couldn't go to gyms and stuff. I was like, I don't know what you were taught, but you don't need a specific environment or specifically train. If you know how to train, you can train anywhere with anything, even including your own body. There's countless things that you can do. But you have to factor in that it's going to take time, consistency, right? You got to have the dedication, and also genetics are a factor.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, like, humans give up before they start, or they think that they could take some sort of, steroid or human growth hormone, and then that's it. It's like, no, you still have to put in the work, and you still have to eat a lot. Like, you have to
somewhere
factor
to
in
go. They don't understand that, T. It
right.
needs somewhere to go. It works off of.
Right. It's just kind of like what I tell them with like supplementation, right? It's not so much that you could just buy a canister of protein powder and then you consume. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pack on 30 pounds of muscle.
I just laugh at those people, man.
I'm like, do you know how hard it is to pack on 5 pounds of muscle, let alone 30? You are out of your damn mind if you think you're just gonna take a powder and it's gonna be that easy. If that were the case, everybody would be walking around looking buff and shit. There's a reason why that's not the case. It's meant to help you. It's not the end all be all to what you think it is. But to be fair, there's a lot of misinformation on the internet. Humans don't know.
It's all about money.
And there are a lot of magazines and things where individuals take steroids and they look a certain way and they tell you, oh, just take this powder and you'll look like me. You'll never look like them because they're not actually taking that shit. They're mixing steroids in their cornflakes. That's why they look like that.
Yep. And we already know this guy was bodybuilding in a time where, black people weren't, like now, like even now, I still say, of course, it's better, right? But then they weren't taking us seriously back then. You know what I mean? And look, they actually used his body, but put the man's face on it. Like, if that's not fucking, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. What are we talking about?
Very West.
It's sad. It happens a lot. Like, that's why even in like movies, for example, one of you guys brought up the martial artists. I'm like, you have a few, right? You have like your Jim Kelly, your Billy Blanks, your Michael Jai White, your Ron Van Cleef, right? But there's way more than that that are just as talented or more that didn't make it because of them being black. They're like, nah, we want the white dude instead. We want the Asian dude instead. But it's like, but this dude is better than them. Nah, we can't use them. Nah, it's okay. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's weird to me that should happen.
What are your thoughts, Chill?
No, nothing. Like yeah, it's par for the course, right?
Mhm.
If anything, it made me think about like the logos of and these different people who are representing the companies.
Mhm.
They should probably be getting paid for that.
Not only that though, chill, like because you said logo, right? The NBA is what 92-95% black, but the logo is a white man. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And they don't even admit it. They don't say that because they don't want to pay Jerry West, but it's definitely from a photo of him
It is
doing that
Jerry.
move.
Yeah.
People were saying when
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant died, he should become the logo, that they should honor him that way. And I knew that wasn't going to happen. Adam Silver was like quelling that we'll find other ways to honor him. Just stay tuned for the All-Star game. We'll honor him other ways because he was never. They don't even acknowledge the Jerry West one. So why would they give Kobe
Right,
Bryant?
right. We're gonna acknowledge him other ways. I'm like, we all know what that
Hey,
means. It's gonna be
that would have
some
been
weird shit.
fucking amazing if because I think you can change the logo now. It's been over what 75 years. He's been the
absolutely,
logo.
you can change it.
You can change it now. And if they would have honored Kobe by making him the logo, that would have been something special. You know what I mean? Yes. And Kobe probably deserved it, to be honest with you.
Low key, I don't want the NBA logo to change. I'm so familiar with what it is. Please, let's not Kobe Bryant it.
I don't know if I would say I don't want it to change. I wouldn't mind if they did, though. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have a problem with that. Like they changed the trophy. It's now the Bill Russell MVP trophy. You know what I mean? So they honored him in that way. I think they could honor Kobe in some sort of way. I think he deserves to be honored, man. Especially with all the slack he's gotten over the years. Go ahead, Terrence.
I was gonna say too, like one of the, it's not so much that I have an issue, but just a form of expression. One of the issues that I have is that when you have humans that don't work out and train, when they just kind of discredit ones that do, and they're just like, oh well, he took steroids, he did this. Like they don't want to acknowledge the hard work that's put in. They'll immediately go to that because they're too fucking lazy to do it themselves. And they don't give themselves that same kind of energy. I don't like that shit.
You've experienced that, Roberto?
I say I hate those fucking guys.
You've experienced that, Roberto?
Of course, they're fucking jealous, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like
usually the guy who can't go to the gym, they're out of shape. Their girl maybe looked twice in a guy's direction who was, you know, in better shape. It's pure insecurities.
Yeah,
because the gym is a choice. You know, I never look down on somebody and say, "Yo, you need to get in shape. You need to get ripped."
Right.
If you're happy in your skin, all the power to you. But the minute you want to criticize me, you know I'm ripping you a new ass.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing, and you know, I could physically do that shit too. I'm like,
I just come up with fat fuck right away. There's no gentle part about it, man. You fat jealous fuck.
It's just like, are you out of your mind? You know how quickly I can snap you like a fucking twig while you talking shit. Like it's just one of those things. Because like for me, when I started, you know, I was 97 pounds with asthma, right? So it wasn't until like 10th grade when I got up to 130 and I was just completely shredded, and you see all the muscles and everything. And humans were accusing me of taking steroids. But I was just like, I had this whole journey that I was going through of a lot of training and a lot of eating. And, you know, I try to tell them that. They're like, no, you must have did something to cheat. I'm like, no, this was a very difficult progression that I had to do what some would call extreme just to build myself up. And then to maintain it, same thing. And then anytime that I want to grow, I have to really, you know, triple down on physical training and food just to grow, because my metabolism and shit is really fast. And I naturally have a really small build. So my size is everything that I had to tack on through training and food. Like it has nothing to do with a fucking pill or a needle. That's bullshit.
Well, I won't lie. I tried it. You know, I could say I actually did it and know what it's like, you know? So,
okay.
Yeah, I tried it when I was younger because I was like you. I couldn't put on weight. I was playing too many sports. My doctor's telling me cut down on some sports. It wasn't what I wanted to hear. And this guy at the gym said, yo, take these pills. You'll put on 10 pounds. So I said, okay. you know.
And how did it work out?
Shit, and it worked. Things changed. I wasn't waiting in line in the club no more. You know, people fucking saying hi to me that just didn't. They know I. You know, I literally read that comic with the guy who was on the beach trying to pick up that girl, and that bodybuilder kicked sand on him.
Okay.
I remember I went to this girl when I was younger, and my older brother was a ladies' man, you know, and I wanted to be like him. So I go up to the girl and she's like, "Oh, you're too skinny." And that never left me. Oh my God. Never left me. And I said, one day. And I saw that comic strip and my uncle used to push weights. So I said, you know what? I'm going to start pushing weights, start doing push-ups. And then you start seeing a little definition and some people get a rush off of that. They just, like a drug, you just keep going. And things change, man.
It does make you, it does elevate your mood to train, which is another thing that I've been telling humans for the last 20 years.
Very good for the head.
Yeah, it's very good for your head and your energy levels. And then even like with guys, I'm like, do you know how much testosterone you can have in your fucking body when you start hitting them squats and deadlifts and bench presses and shit, like in the military prep? Like, man, there's so many wonderful things that can come out of, just doing weight training and taking care of yourself. But, Roberto, if you don't mind me asking, like, how long did you do the steroids?
On and off, maybe 2 years.
Was it the same one, or did you experiment with different ones?
I experimented. First time it was methotrexate. It was only 5 milligrams, so it wasn't very strong. But because my body was so frail, and I had some kind of definition through playing sports, it went right to my arms. You don't remember one point my arms were massive, Nzo? And I had to let the rest of my body catch up because it doesn't really know. You can't tell it where to go. As much as I wanted it to go to my legs, it went nowhere near there. Like there was a roadblock.
How old were you?
I was 20. I was in my early 20s.
Okay,
24.
so metabolism hasn't slowed down yet.
No, but I kind of like reached a point where I had no guidance, right? I had no guidance, so my doctor didn't guide me the right way. When you tell somebody to stop something they love, they're never gonna fucking stop.
Yeah.
I play sports because I love it, not because I have to. So you're telling me to stop, and I'm looking to try and excel in these sports. You're actually countering the direction I want to go. So the
Which
first
make you want to
person
do
that
it
speaks
more,
where I want
right?
to go is the one that speaks the loudest. And I look at him; he's jacked. He's where more or less I wanted to go.
Did you guys ever want to be that big?
I didn't want to be that big, but I wanted to be bigger.
I got you.
So
I didn't want to be fucking veins popping out of my eyebrows and shit.
So like for me, right now, I didn't have access to steroids or anything like that. Like honestly, if I did, because I was so determined to get stronger and stuff, I probably would have abused the shit out of it. I would have been one of those guys because, a lot of the stuff that I liked, like superheroes and Arnold and Bruce Lee and all these things and pro wrestlers, like they were all big and strong and shit. And I'm just like, oh, so if I get like that, then I can fuck people up and shit instead of being like this big, right?
That's how Triple H won the 2002 Rumble. He just came back.
Facts. Because if you remember, before he left, he was like this. When he was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, he was nowhere as big as he was. And then he just came back one time, and it's like
he took some GH.
That's why the wrestlers shrink like that too. Like the little tests come around, they get a little smaller, then they blow up again. And Triple H was one of them, and that's what it does, right? So like, my thing was the only time that I cared about size was when I wanted to go from 97 pounds to 130, and I ended up getting to 135, and then I stopped that. But then over the years, and I put on 5 pounds here, 10 pounds there, and I kept going all the way until I got to 215. So naturally, my body kind of kept growing, and then depending on the exercises, the muscles would grow here and there.
You went about it at the right pace that you kept it, because most people lose.
Right. That's another thing. Like when I was in middle school, there was a guy named Arthur, right? He was the buffest dude in school. And I was just like, holy shit, like he looked like a Dragon Ball Z character. And I was just like fascinated by that. I'm like, yo, what the hell's going on? Like, what are you doing? And he would always be doing push-ups and pull-ups and squats and stuff. But eventually I got buffer than him. And then by the time I saw him in high school, all of that was completely gone because he lost his determination and his will to maintain it. And there was a lot of guys that I knew that were like that. They just stopped. So it is really difficult to keep doing it because you can't retire from it like a job. Like if you want your strength and you want a certain look, you gotta keep doing that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you guys ever have trainers?
No, never.
No?
Not one.
I just had mentors, like people get you. You have to be a sponge in life, because you can't know everything. And the guys like Benny, for instance, he gave me tips. And you have to take constructive criticism, or you'll never grow in those areas where you couldn't accept that criticism. Because you look at yourself. See, the thing about bodybuilding is the minute you grow, you get sidelined so fast. Like if you're going in with a mission, I'm going to work here, here, here. As soon as your arms get a little definition, your sleeves get cut. You're fucking cutting every fucking t-shirt you have. They have no sleeves now. And all you're doing is admiring your arms. And every time you go to the gym and the gym is slightly busy, your ego comes into play. You're doing arms because you don't want to show your weakness. Then you look like a fucking idiot. All you have is arms. No back, no chest, no traps, no nothing. Just big arms. You look like a fucking idiot.
Right. Well, I guess like it just depends on why a person got into like before it became like a literal lifestyle for me. Like at first it was a survival thing. I was like, I have to do this because I'm getting bullied and shit all the time. I gotta fuck these humans up. You know what I mean? Like, so it was a survival thing for me. But then the more I got immersed into it, then I was like, it started to become more of an enjoyment and I wanted to do more and more. So the journey is always interesting, for me to talk to individuals about what they're doing or what they did and how they built up the maintenance and the whole nine. I'm always willing to talk to someone and learn. But like for me, I got a lot of my advice from individuals I never met, like Arnold, Muhammad Ali, right? Like I would study everybody that I could for years and then incorporate that and try to copy it. Because when I try to go to humans to get advice, they will laugh at me. Oh no, you're too skinny and this and that. Like they rejected me. So I was by myself doing that. So I did a lot of trial and error, injuring myself and all kinds of crazy shit. But all those things helped make me better too, because I learned from experience what not to do. So I was able to then in turn guide others like, yeah, you don't want to do that. I did that and almost snapped my shit up or whatever. So,
and that goes,
yeah.
And that goes to my last question before we move on. Do you guys want to train other people? Do you ever have that like vibe? Like, you know what? I think I want to train somebody.
I'd love to. I even done it before, but unfortunately, it's another cash cow system where you have to pay money to share your knowledge and pay fees every year to share your knowledge that you learn for free, basically. You have to get this fucking degree so you could go in a gym and now you're insured and then you're able to train people. I don't need to pay people to share my knowledge,
Yeah.
So what I do is, rather than go in there with like a clipboard and train people like these robots do, I train with you. Therefore, I get stronger and more disciplined and do exercises I wouldn't normally do because I got to start you from the beginning. And I find that's the best method.
I got you. You, Terrence?
So for me, no, like whenever, like I don't even go to gyms. Like I haven't been to a gym in like 18 years. I didn't like it. I didn't like being around humans. I didn't like having to wait for machines. So I've been training at home or at my friend's house ever since. Like I like to train in isolation. So the idea of me being there and training some human doesn't appeal to me. However, over the years, I have allowed humans to borrow like ankle weights and weighted vests, and I would, write down workout plans for them. I give them advice. Like I don't mind doing that. But in terms of like how you would see like the trainers, how they train these actors and things, and they're with them a lot. Like I don't like that. That doesn't seem good to me. So to me, I like to stick to myself, and I'm glad at the stuff that I learned. But when I can, I don't mind helping. But it does take a certain kind of person to, have the patience or just the willingness to want to be there a lot of times to guide someone through their journey of whatever sort of physical traits that they wish to possess.
But the downside to it, Anzo, sorry to cut you off, T, is it's more times than not the person you're training, what state of mind they're in. Because I have like a method to my madness, to get the results I get, I have to be in a certain mental mindset. And for me to try and share that with people, some people might think I'm weird. Some people can't handle it because, it's hard work, man. It's really not easy. And the tricks you learn along the way, like when you're doing it for 30 years, you realize it's not even strength. It's more mental than anything. Because if you don't get your breathing down, your muscles won't expand. And you're actually stifling yourself if you don't breathe properly. So you see all these guys doing stuff, and then you ask them, how long you training? And they tell you 10, 12 years. And you look at them, man, I wouldn't even know this guy works out. There's levels to this game. And the problem is now people are fucking ignorant. No one wants to listen. Everybody knows.
So how do you breathe then?
Inhale, exhale through the movement, right? Yeah. So like while you're there's what I do negatives.
Okay.
Right? Full negatives. So I'm going up slow, down slow. Your strength is in the exhale. Right?
So I should blow out while
you're bringing up, you should blow out. And inhale on the release.
Okay.
I do the whole exercise slow. So it's very hard to breathe because when you're releasing, you're not supposed to be in a strength position. You know what I mean? Like you're not pushing.
Right.
You're coming back. So if you're doing a heavy weight and you're inhaling and you could still control that, you're on another level.
See that, and that's interesting because like humans have asked me that question. Like they've asked me different questions, like how much water do you drink? How much of this? How much protein do you do here? And then what kind of exercise do you do? And I always tell them the same thing, which is there is no one way. I eat when I'm hungry. I drink when I'm thirsty. I consume protein to recover. And when I'm training, there's no necessarily a specific posture of breathing. I just do the exercises. So then I tell them, I'm just like, as you can see, there are results. So that means that I'm doing something right. And if you want to get somewhere, it would be logical for you to heed what I'm telling you. But at the same time, though, if you talk to someone else, they also could be right with their method. You can have 10 different methods from 10 different individuals, and they could all be right. But you have to figure out what works for you. But like kind of like what you were saying, Roberto, like for me, I don't believe that it is good for me to have someone go, like sit someone down and go, I'm going to walk you through my training. It doesn't work like that because my entire foundation is built on pain and suffering. I'm like, you don't need to go through that. I'm like, I was doing all kinds of dangerous and extreme stuff because I felt I had to. And then also to manage the rage that I was feeling for years. I'm just like, so that whole approach is extreme and different. So I don't want to guide someone through that. I would give them a completely different method to tackle whatever their physical goals are.
Right.
So my training was designed to save my life. This person is just trying to build their pec muscles. They're not trying to save shit. So it has to be a different approach.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I believe it's true that everyone's different, so maybe training someone the way you do it might not work for them.
Well, you got to come to me to find out if my shit works or not, right?
Right. That's what I'm saying.
You got to go find the person that works for you and stay with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, you know, to the last thing too, Anzo, like, while I don't want to train someone, there are certain things that would disqualify someone from getting my tutelage, whether it be in building their body or learning martial arts. Like, if the person comes to me, it always matters what they say. Like, if they tell me, you know, "Oh, I'm going to train to, you know, get the girl or because I want to impress this person," like any of that to me is goofy. And I would immediately tell them to get the fuck out of my face. All I want to hear is that you want to do it for you. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I feel you. Next topic, guys, is something that I think is pretty important too as well. Family, the importance of family. You know, I know Terrence may have a little different view than us, but we went, and it's a shame that it was like the funeral that we went to, right? You know, as we know, Roberto lost his aunt, and we all got together. You know what I mean? As I showed the picture, like that's 30 years of friendship in that picture, even more. You know what I mean? I've known
A
these.
lot more than 30 years.
Yeah, well, yeah, because I'm 48, so yeah, a little bit more. But I've known Roberto and his family since I was 10 years old. And I've said it like when we were together, I'm like, yo, these guys introduced me to Jamaican culture, right? You know, for me, it was, you know, my dad tried to do his little curry and stuff like that. But when I tasted real curry, you know what I mean? When I heard real reggae and shit, that was all through these guys, you know? But we got together that night on Saturday night, and I
And you
swear to
drank
God,
rum and Red Bull?
no, I don't drink that shit. We had beer, we had
Too old for that shit.
we had some Grey Goose.
Heart palpitation shit.
Bruh, these dudes had this huge bottle of Grey Goose, man.
Oh,
And
fuck.
yeah, but we didn't do nothing but just we went to a restaurant, had a couple beers, and then we chilled outside for a few hours just talking and laughing and joking, right? And the reason why I want to bring this is because I find that when people get together, it's always when it's a death. You know what I mean? It's never
For
like,
the
oh,
wrong
hey,
reason.
right? It's
Well, not
never
always
like,
the wrong, like a wedding. It's always an event.
yeah, exactly.
Why does it have to be?
Exactly. Like, why do we have to wait for a tragedy or a wedding for all of us to get together? You know what I mean? So I think we made a pact that night to at least get together as much as we can, where it's just us getting together with no reason other than just to hang out. Right. And what I realized that night is that I missed hanging out with these guys, man. You know what I mean? I missed it. And being older, you know, back in the day, they used to rag on you and stuff like that. Oh, remember you did this, that, and you get offended. Oh, why the fuck you bringing that up? Now it's like I can laugh at the shit. You know what I mean? I remember. Yeah, you're right. I did some stupid shit back in the day. You know what I mean? And it was a great night. And I think that, you know, getting together with family or friends, family, whatever is important. I know Terrence,
It's a must.
yeah, 100%. Because Terrence gets together with friends all the time, right? So you understand the importance of having good people in your life. You know what I mean? And I don't think that we should wait until certain situations to get together with your family, you know, or friends
Wait,
or whatever.
what was that? What was that last part you said?
I was saying I don't think we should wait for like tragedy or big events to get together with your people. I know everybody has their life and everybody's doing their own thing, but at least take a weekend. You know what I mean? Yo, guys, what are we doing this weekend? All right, let's go have a few drinks, go do this. You know, we're old. We don't need to party. We could sit together in a fucking apartment or a house
Backyard.
or whatever, backyard, have a barbecue and just have jokes, you know? And it's very important for I think for your well-being to have those type of moments.
It's good for the soul.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
100%.
wait. So Andre, what were you? How did you mean when you said that? I might think differently. Like what? Like how do you mean?
Well, you know, I said family, but I know you're more friend guy, right?
Oh, you talking about like DNA family DNA?
Yeah. Well, and I say this too because I'm not blood with these guys, right? But because I've known them so long, I've been to their parties like every year when there was a Christmas party or whatever. I've been there, whatever. So pretty much
It's called
family.
respect. It's called
Yeah.
respect because
You know what
you're
I mean?
there when some family isn't even there.
Right.
You know what I
You know what I
mean?
mean?
So describe family. It's the people that are there when you need them the most, man.
Well,
Absolutely.
it's like I told you a bunch of times, Anzo. Like to me, DNA doesn't make you family. It's like technically it does,
Mm-hmm.
but as far as I'm concerned, if I don't have a connection with you, you're not family. Like in fact, 99% of my DNA family, they don't mean shit. I could watch them get hit by a bus and not shed a single fucking tear.
Mm-hmm.
But if one of my boys, got hit by a bus, then it's just like I'm about to turn into Lex Luthor or something. Like it's just that everything is changing.
Mm-hmm. What were you
So
gonna
obviously
say, Chip?
something happened.
What do you mean? Oh, you're talking Terrence?
Yeah, like something that made you distance because you grew up in a home with you did YouTube with your brother. You know something happened that now you guys, or at least the 99% of your family, something happened.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so yeah, in terms of my DNA family, my brother is the most important to me. But there's a lot of messed
Yeah,
up
something
tragic
happened. I
details.
didn't even
Yeah.
want you to disclose. Actually, I'm just I'll just leave it
Just
there.
know.
I'm just
Mhm.
noticing that, observing it.
I think it
When's
runs in every family.
facts?
It-
100%.
it's just one of those things like unfortunately, there is a lot of dark fucked up areas that I wouldn't wish on anybody, but there's a lot of reasons as to why. And even my own family, the DNA family, they don't understand it. And then you have the ones that don't believe me and they don't want to listen, which is also part of the problem. So I already have a lot of friends. Like I'm one of those individuals where I can say I have a lot of close friends. Like, if I were to call them up now, hey, come and pick me up. Can I stay at your house for like 2 weeks or whatever? Like there's so many options that I have that are not my DNA family. I am very lucky in that area.
I got you.
So
What
what is
about you?
this? What all five of us on a weekly basis, we know where to find each other. There's got to be something to it, right? Like
100%. And I was just gonna say that, Chill, because like I know we talking about making a trip out to Toronto because Roberto has a family down there. If we come out there, I want to meet
linking
you.
up.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I want to meet you. I want to say, yo, Chill, we're out here. You know what I mean? Let's go do something because I think a lot of people say, oh, you know, and I've heard this before. Oh, your friends they're not real. They're not friends. They're just people on the internet. But no, when you stream with someone for so long, yeah, you become friends. You get to know them.
And it takes time. Like a year ago, probably not. But like now, how long we've been knowing each other? 2, maybe even 3 years now. Now I'm like, me and Anzo, you're like one of the first people who followed me on Instagram when I made Instagram yesterday. Like we're there where it's like, nah, I think this is something. As little as we know about each other,
100.
I think we're there.
100%.
But Anzo, like the only thing is like the huge difference is if something happens to my phone or whatever, right? Because I have numbers in there now. The difference is I can't get to you as easy as I can. Like I can walk to a lot of my friends' house, right? Like so that would be the huge difference. Like if the wrong thing happens, I can lose contact with you for a long time.
Yeah,
in a way that it won't be for the friends that I can immediately go and see and shake their hands kind of stuff.
But to that though, Terrence, I've lost track of family. You know what I mean? Like you lose a number with a family member and boom, it's done. You never hear from them again. They never hear from you again. So it can go both ways, right? It can always happen. But I just think that, when you build relationships, there's certain people on YouTube that, I may stream with, but I don't consider them friends. But I've sat in the backstage just chill talking. You know what I mean? Like we just talking or wrestling, come on, we backstage and we watch it. You want to watch the wrestling? Sure, no problem. Those are the things that build friendships, and I can call Chill a friend 100%.
But Anzo, another thing too, like with the passage of time, humans can get weird, right? Because there's been some instances where I would lose contact with some humans, and then say I see them in public and I try to go up to them, and little did I know everything changed. It's like, hey, there's my buddy, and they're just like, no, we ain't buddies no more. We used to be whatever.
Really?
Yes. I've had that happen to me a fair number of times.
But
Like
then I would say they weren't really your buddies. You know what I mean? They weren't really your
this
friends.
is true, but it doesn't change the fact that in those moments that it was, anger inducing and hurtful. I was just like,
Mhm. Mhm.
what did this human do? Like, I'm under the impression things are the same, and then the human's like, nah, T, things are different now, and
Mhm.
they got a new friend or whatever, and I'm just like, how did this happen? The last time we left off, we were good, like, because from my perspective, it didn't matter that the contact and all that was gone because I
Oh, someone cut up. Well, while he's JG, you've been quiet. What do you think?
Yeah,
did something change.
Okay,
yeah, I
you
was,
cut
yeah,
out a bit, Terrence, but you continue in a second. Terrence? Yeah,
Yeah, can
your
you hear me?
phone is. Yeah, okay, we got you now.
Yeah, no, I was saying like, from my perspective, it was one way, and then, then all of a sudden that person is letting me know it's different. Like, oh yeah, well, that was back then. I'm like, why?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to get used to that, and then when it happened enough times, and I was like, so I was dealing with some fake ass humans. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah, 100%.
now I know who my real friends are. But again, honestly, that shit sucked at the time. But I'm just
Mm-hmm.
letting you know that losing a number or losing communication could possibly lead to that kind of crap.
No, I agree with you. And I say this, it does suck, but it's also good to know who your true friends are and who the fake ones are. You know what I mean? The fake ones will drop off real quick at the drop of a dime. And
mhm.
those are the ones you don't even want around. You know what they dropped off? Fuck you. And you go with your real friends. JG, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. When my mom passed a few weeks ago, I heard more from my friends than I actually
Mm-hmm.
heard from my family.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and as we get older, we can't lose sight of our youth, right? Because when you're young, your friends, I mean, we have what I call down south kid friendly, where, hey, that's my dog, that's my homie. No matter what, we're going to be friends. And I think as we get older, we kind of lose sight of that,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be because we get married, have
Because life gets
families,
in the
get
way.
jobs, life gets in the way. And we need that time to regain our youth again.
Mm-hmm.
That's
We
But
gotta
why,
then
take a moment.
some of those friendships we bonded over because of the address we have, or because when we were kindergarten, one of us had the same color pencil crayon, we had something in common, and that was the foundation of the
yeah.
friendship. I think that there's good reason for when people grow older and they differ and they change into different people. There is a good reason to split sometimes, because sometimes that friend is getting into stuff that you don't want to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have the
Yeah.
foresight to realize that at the age 14, you'll have a different line of life.
I agree with you
Yeah, true.
100%. 100%. Because sometimes these friends will take you down a path where you
Hmm.
may not be wanting to go, but you end up being someplace where you
Some
don't
people don't
want to be.
evolve. They stay the
Exactly.
same
Yeah,
while
You
you're
got
100%.
evolving and you don't
you
click
got
anymore.
you got some people where just shit just follows them no matter what they do. No matter how
Mm-hmm.
much good they do, shit just follows them. And you
Mm-hmm.
kind of have to separate yourself from them. There are guys
Yo,
I
I
grew
know
up with
some
that.
guys that are still doing the same shit
Hmm.
we were doing 30,
Facts.
40 years ago.
Yeah.
Facts. Me too.
You ever
100%.
had somebody like live with you or your family because you knew them when you were younger, so you had to do them a favor, and then they just burnt that bridge by
Mm-hmm.
abusing you? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Oh
we've
Yeah,
yeah.
all been
Mm-hmm.
Once you burn that bridge, it's done.
there.
Done.
That's it.
Done.
especially a
100%.
cousin.
Yeah, yeah. And I wouldn't even say like sometimes because I don't really. I mean, if a family member needed it, yeah, you come, you can chill here, whatever. I'll help you out. But you're like you. Sometimes they take advantage of that. They feel like they're entitled. Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
we're family. I
Yeah.
can do whatever I want to. And like, no, motherfucker, you can't. You know what I mean?
just because
You
we
can't.
family don't mean my shit is yours.
Exactly.
Facts. one hundred
Oh
percent.
man, we cousins. Don't I get that discount, man? I get the hell no. This
Discount,
is
yeah.
business, dude. This is business. If you're really my family, you be like, hey, I'm gonna support your business. I'm gonna pay full price.
Luckily,
Let's
but
do it.
I'm gonna share this with you, Anzo, that that the
Chipping out,
What's up?
Terrence. when Well, he comes back. When's the last time you guys like chill and JG? When's the last time you hung out with like boys and just had a good time?
Your
Oh,
boys
I'll do
for
it
the
often.
day.
I'll do it like once every 3 months.
Oh yeah.
At least you do that. You know what I mean? I mean, some of them in that we got together with, I haven't seen in like or hung out with in like 10 years. You know what I mean? If not
seen my
longer.
cousin in 20 plus years.
E-
Craig?
Exactly. Yeah. And these guys like live like hours away from each other. You know what I mean? And you ain't seeing them in 20
Not
years.
even hours.
Yeah, like minutes. 15 minutes. What, 15, 20 minutes away?
Yeah.
You guys, yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, and it felt good because when we all got together, it didn't feel like we missed a beat. You know what I mean? It just felt like everything flowed so naturally. Now, again, and it's funny too, because we had the one friend, you know, you got the characters in the group, you know what I mean? You got the Joker, you got the ladies man, you got the drinker, right? And of course, the drinker sometimes gets a little bit out of hand, which happened. But I sat there and I was like, it wouldn't be the same if he didn't do what he was doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is what he does, right? So, like, it wouldn't be the same if he wasn't doing the shit that he did. So I enjoyed my time. I really I want to do this more often. You know, I want to get together with people. You know, I didn't think of any problems or anything that was bothering me in my life that night at all. It was all about just having jokes and having a good time with friends and family, man.
Can you hear me, Nzo?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so but yeah, so I was gonna share with you, you know, the first instance that happened to me, like what I was talking about some moments ago. You remember when the Ang Lee Hulk movie came out?
Yeah.
Okay, so when that came out, I was in middle school, right? And I had a dear friend. I was, you know, friends with him for like 6 years, right? So we were boys, we were best friends and shit. And the last thing that happened before he was gone for a long time was we went to see that Hulk movie together, right? And then we ended up going to, I guess, different high schools or whatever. I wasn't too sure because, you know, I thought he was going to go to the same high school as me. And I was looking for him actively for years, man. Like it was crazy, you know, and, you know, all these years passed and then I graduated high school and stuff. And then in my early 20s, I happened to see him, right? And we were at this Hispanic diner and stuff. And, you know, I was there with some friends and I saw him and he was with his girlfriend at the time. And I walked up to him and I was all happy, like, hey, and, you know, and then he just kind of looked at me like I was a stranger, right? But, you know, I was still excited. And I said, hey, man, I've been looking for you for years. The last time I saw you was when the Hulk movie came out, right? So he kind of does a little smirk and stuff, and then he sits down at the table, and I join him, and I was like, "Hey, man, we should exchange numbers so that way we can catch up." And then he said to me, "Why?" Right?
Oh wow.
Fuck.
So when he did that, of course, you know, I stopped smiling, and I was really upset, and I wanted to beat the fuck out of him in front of his girl, like right then and there, like. It just like I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting like, oh yeah, T, no problem, hell yeah, and you know, my best buddy. And so he did give me his number, and you know, I took it, and then you know, I just said, you know, I'll contact you tomorrow to see what's good. So I did, right? He couldn't do it, right? And then called him the next day, he couldn't do it. So he gave me like 5 excuses in a row. And then at that point, that's when I deleted his number because I had to face the reality that you know, I was no longer in my previous status. So, yeah.
I got you. So I brought this picture up because I wanted to ask you guys a question. The dude that you see in the middle there, the white shirt, does he look familiar to you guys? Let me see. Hold on. If you guys can see my mouse. This one right between me. So it's Roberto, me, and then the one in the white shirt. Does he look familiar to you guys?
Hang on, I'm enlarging the image. Hold on.
Yeah. I'm trying to find the scene because
He does look like somebody I've seen in something.
You have.
I can't put my finger on it because normally I you know remember a face, but for some reason I don't think so.
Hold on. Take a good look at his face, right? I'm gonna bring up the scene.
He's like Michael Jai White's brother.
No,
Michael Jai Whiter.
That's Roberto's nephew. Right? And
he got jokes, Joe.
You see the guy in the background there?
Yeah,
that's him.
What movie is this?
The Incredible Hulk.
No.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah,
the guy that says, remember they interview him and he's like, it was like a Hulk?
Yeah.
right.
That's him.
Oh, he got to name the
Wow.
Hulk.
Yes,
Oh.
yes, he got
Hey,
to name the
that's
Hulk.
dope as
Yes.
fuck. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
no, I just that's cool. Like when soon as you showed that, I was like, okay, I remember the scene, but
Mhm.
you know, okay.
And what's funny is when we went to go see it, he didn't tell nobody he was in it, right? So we're watching the movie.
Yeah.
It was me and his Roberto's brother. We're watching the movie and we're like, wait a minute, is that PJ? And then that scene comes up and it's like, oh fuck, that's PJ. You know what I mean? So when
That's
we
some
were
crazy shit. Huh? When you in the theater and you see somebody up there, you know.
it was crazy. And he was like, oh, I don't know why I didn't tell anybody. And I was like, you know what? I'm glad you didn't, because it wouldn't have been as such a surprise to see you
There's
up
no
in that
critique.
movie. You know
There's
what
no
I mean?
PJ, I'm
not
gonna
knowing,
see.
right?
I'm watching a screening with every friend group sitting side by side, waiting for my scene. Did they notice? Did they notice?
Facts, facts. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, man, that was good. And then he explained to us how we got the role that night. And I was like, okay, yeah.
How did he get it?
So he's obviously trying. He has an agent doing little acting jobs, and he said he went to the bathroom. Right? They had a little. He was just supposed to be an extra pushing a cart. So he went to the bathroom and he seen some dude in there. He was like, "Oh my god, your J's are fucking wicked." You know what I mean? Had a conversation with him. Ended up getting a call from his agent. It was the director of the Hulk, and they're like, "Yeah, we got a scene for you." And they wrote that scene for him because
that's dope. You never know. Yeah, that's cool.
Tell you, man, right place, right time.
absolutely, right. You know what I mean. So that's why I said, like, for me, I want to get to like. There's even Danny, Terrence, Chill. Like, I want to meet you guys in real life. You know what I mean? I want to sit down there, have a drink with you guys, and chill and stuff like that, because I consider
before
you
we
guys
go and see Chill, we got to get Danny down here.
Yeah,
eat some oxtail poutine and beaver tails.
Facts. And some curry goat.
Danny ain't going back.
but Nzo, what if you don't recognize me when you see me in person?
All I gotta do is look for the guy with the Joker paint on, and I'll know that's Terrence. 6 foot black man dressed up like the Joker. You know what I mean? Oh, hey, that's Terrence right there.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, family is very important. You know, whether you say it's your friends that family or your real family, it's important to get together. And I think we all realized that night how it is important to keep in contact. Like, even with Roberto's brother, who was like my best friend back in the day, right? I lost contact with him, but after that night, I text him like almost every day. Yo, what's up, bro? You good? Whatever, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to go another 20 years without hanging with my boys. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even if it's like once a month, once every 3 months, at least we got to set something up. Plus, our families, even my family, but their families, they had traditions in place. You know what I mean? And I find the generation behind doesn't uphold those traditions. And I think we need to keep those traditions going. Because if it wasn't for the family barbecues or my family barbecues, like, I would never really know a lot of my cousins. But it's because every year we would have.
Yep, amen. Yep.
You know what I mean? It's because every year we would have a barbecue and all the family would come down. You get to hang with your cousins, stuff like that. But if we weren't doing that, then I wouldn't do that. And I find like my kid doesn't really know his cousins because I haven't kept up the tradition, or they haven't kept up the tradition, or stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's a shame that my generation and my cousins and their generations, they don't know each other. So I want to change a lot of that.
I got a question for you, Nzo.
Mm-hmm.
So what if, like, when you think you're interacting with me, what if it's really a scroll? Like, will you be able to tell the difference between me and the scroll?
See, I thought you were going to say something serious. Let me say something serious.
Yeah,
John Morant, he bought the whole strip. His home, his family's home, his cousin's home. There's like 5 of them, and they're going to grow up together now and be united in that way. So they don't have to worry about not linking up every now and again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's the way you fight that. You got to actually be together rather than having different people in parts of the city, and we're supposed to just link up at some park. No, that's so asking for too much. But if you're just like, back home from work, and then you see couple of kids who live next door who are actually nephews and nieces chilling with your kids, and it just makes it better.
Absolutely. And I agree with you 100% because that's how I know these guys, right? Is because one lived here, I lived in the middle, and the other one lived in the next building, right? So even you walking outside your house, who are you hanging with? The guys next to you, right? So I agree with you. And my cousins are all spread out, Toronto, Nova Scotia, here and there, and I get it. People are doing their lives, but yeah, it would be great to have everybody in one area where you could just be like, hey, it's not a big deal.
That, Anzo, because the Harris and the Freeman family on my side is ridiculously huge. I can only imagine if they were all in the same area. I don't know about that.
It wouldn't have to be every single family member, but I think, you know what I mean, having at least a majority of them around you where it's not like a big thing to make, because you got to understand, like you in Nova Scotia, we say, hey, let's link up. We got to set the date. You know what I mean? Got to make sure we keep that date. You got to take your money, buy a plane ticket or a train ticket or whatever, get over there. And if you don't have enough room to accommodate everybody, then they got to find out where they're going to stay and everything. So it can be kind of a hassle. But at the same time, I also do think it's something at least once a year that should be done.
Once a year? Like for a family reunion?
Yeah, for family getting together. I think at least once a year.
No. The last family reunion, there were 500 humans that I had never seen before, and that was only a tiny portion. Talking about the rest couldn't make it. I'm like, what you mean the rest couldn't make it? And I was just on my mom's side. I was like, what is happening in this world? And they were from all walks of life. My jaw was just on the ground. All these tiny cousins, like, you have cousin Terrence. I'm like, who the fuck? Like, it just was bizarre to me.
All right, we're going to get into the last thoughts before we close it up. Roberto?
You know how I feel already. Family is everything. The right family members, at least. Don't get it twisted. Some family members don't have your best interests. It's just what it is. Stay with the ones who are true to you.
Facts, 100%. JG?
Family is very important, especially in our community. I think we lost sight of that as a whole, but we need to get back to it because we're strong together. Divided, we're weak. So let's stay strong together. And like Roberto said, it's keep the ones that are good and for you, keep them with you. The ones that are not for you, hey, fuck off. Bye. Don't bring them into your space because all they're gonna do is bring that negativity to you.
Facts, 100%. Chill.
Value your family. Don't get walked over, and create boundaries because your family is two things. It's who you grew up with and that extension, and then the new one that you create also.
Absolutely. Terrence?
I mean, I'm fine alone, but humans are nice sometimes.
Hey, Terrence said, if I died, he wouldn't shed a tear.
Like, wow, that is not the full context of it.
Nah, I ain't crying for you, bro. Like, nah, you know what I mean?
Wow, that is not the full context of the conversation.
That's what I took from it. You know what I mean?
Hanzo, like you have to understand that number one, that there would be anger, but I feel like I would celebrate the memory of you as opposed to, being down in the dumps. Is that unusual, like on this planet, or what?
No, that's good. You celebrate the person, but you know what I mean? I think, I'd shed a little tear, 100%. You know what I mean?
But why? I would shed a little tear. Remember what I told you, Anzo? I was like, wait, why would a human cry for Terrence? Remember I asked you that? I was like, what in the world?
Because people care about you, bro. That's why.
I see. Yep, this part where it's supposed to be the tear coming down and stuff. I know.
With that being said, guys, we are going to close it up. It was a great show. I want to thank Chillmonger and Terrence for coming in. I'm going to also let him shout out his channel. Chill, tell the people where they can find you, man.
It's spelt exactly how it's there. Chillmonger. Talked about Jonathan Majors like 4 hours ago, so watch that.
Absolutely. Terrence, I'm going to put Chill's link in the description so you guys can go over to his channel, watch his stuff. Hey, man, I do stuff on it, but when Chill does this, he breaks it down. He's legit with it, man. Yeah, absolutely. You guys will enjoy his channel. Check it out. T-Virus.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, humans? T-Virus Terrence here. Now, technically, I did retire from the YouTube platform as a content creator, but my channel is still there. So if you're interested and your mind is open and you're willing to hear things that might otherwise upset certain humans, you will find that there are 7,000 videos on the channel, which you can navigate through by using the various playlists. And recently I kind of been randomly popping on streams and stuff, but this is not a regular thing. So I'm not like back, but sometimes in life Terrence might pop up.
And I was honored to have you on those 2 streams, man. I appreciate it. JG.
Yo, you can find me Wednesday nights on the O.O.C with the great Nzo, the great Roberto, and the amazing, outstanding, extraordinary Danny. So you said I did shout him out last time. Super Wise, you find me with him talking about our geek stuff that we love so much. Also find me on Twitter, Shaolin Terrific.
And Roberto.
You know how it is, Wednesday nights with Nzo, JG, and the fellas that join us every now and then. We appreciate, love doing this. Look forward to seeing you next Wednesday, yo.
Absolutely. Guys, make sure to check out tomorrow night. I will be doing the birthday stream I was supposed to do last night. I got a Jeopardy trivia thing to do. It's going to be fun. It's going to be entertainment. I tried to put questions on there that these motherfuckers won't know the answer to. So it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be pure jokes. Chill. If you're free tomorrow night, come true.
Nzo, just wanted to say, again, happy birthday and
35th birthday.
I was looking at the live and I noticed that it's slightly over 2 hours, and I was just wondering how come it's like so.
I got to get him out of there real quick because I know he's gonna say 10 hours.
That is not what I was gonna say. Yeah, but I was just gonna say I wonder why we not gonna have a 10-hour stream. But
you see, there you go. That's what I thought. With that being, yeah, go ahead, Joe.
I was just gonna joke. You're 35. You're still older than me.
All right. You know what? I think I'm gonna identify as a 30-year-old.
Oh, you can do that?
Yeah. Hey, I can do it. You know what I mean? I can do it. I'm gonna identify as a 30-year-old. So I just turned 30, guys. With that being said, thank you everybody for popping in. Make sure to check us out next week for another episode of the O.O.C. and tomorrow night the birthday stream. Thank you once again. Peace, love, and hair grease, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.
Lift me up, hold me down, keep me close, safe and sound. Drowning in a little sea. Take some time and stay with me. Keep me in the strength of your arms. Keep me safe, safe and sound. Yeah, we are. Hold me down. Keep me safe.
Not me.
Safe and sound.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.